do it repeatedly. Excellence is doing things enough times that you know how to do it well. Yeah, once is not enough to prove anything. Excellence is doing things enough times that you do it well. In fact, somebody says excellence is habit. So our God can do it once, he can do it twice, he can do it many, many times. Solid conclusions require frequency. Solid conclusions require frequency. So we tell young people in sports, practice is the key to excellence. You need to practice. You need to do it many, many times. In fact, there's something they call muscle memory. So that your muscle has a memory. You've done it so many times. Once we call you, you know what to do. So I'm telling young people this morning, our God can do it again. He's a God who can frequently reproduce what he does. Once is not enough to prove anything. If you're seeking for understanding, or you're seeking for excellence, or you're seeking for great impact, embrace the power of repetition. Embrace the power of repetition. This is Business Sense, brought to you by ADB, the People's Bank. We have a longer tenure of up to 6 years for your loans, a variety of loans including top-ups at highly reduced interest rates. Call us on 0302-210-210. ADB, truly a cricket more. Piva Beverages. If you're looking for a best of flavor in every sip, we have the Piva Cola flavor. If you want a fruity adventure, the Piva orange fruit drink, packed with recognized citrus flavor. There's even the Piva cocktail fruit drink, which brings the tropics home. There's even the Piva tangy fruit, bursting with tangerine. So there's Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, and Piva Tangy. Grab yours today, even as you listen to the newspaper review. Available at your local store or call 0550-032-231. That's 0550-032-231. Piva Beverages, a taste you love. Newspaper review is also brought to us by Fidelity Bank and Total Energies. Every hour, new pages turn. Every day is a new chapter to keep dreams alive. Today, a starter. Tomorrow, a finisher. Today, a student. Tomorrow, a big leader. And whatever you want to do to add value to the world, Fidelity Bank will support you to make it happen. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. Ebefa. And why wait for December when we can bring Christmas to you early? Total Energies is kicking off the holiday spirit with our Bronya Lube Bay special from 1st November to 31st January 2025. We're ready to spread some festive cheer. Swing by Liberation Road, Tesano, Dakuman, Link Road, Sakumon, Farah Avenue, Oxford Street, Community One Stadium, and Apremdo Total Energy service stations. Change your engine oil and get a free elite car wash to keep your ride sparkling. It's like giving your car a great holiday makeover. So while preparing to hit the road, make sure your vehicle is ready for the festivities. We're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Instagram. It's a Monday morning. We'll bring you newspaper reviews shortly. There's also EdTech Monday with Nathan at 9 o'clock. Oh yes, welcome Mr. Caleb. You are grinning from ear to ear. Yes, good to have you, Caleb. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
And good morning to Richard Delasky.
Good morning, my man.
How are you doing?
Charlie, we did a system inside small.
I like the energy. I like it.
It's a beautiful Monday morning, people. Let's get to work and fix this country.
October has moved very fast.
Charlie, the whole year actually. We celebrated Christmas.
Yeah, I was even thinking about Effective Living series this year, only to realize that we are already in November. No, but I think it's good because it's been a difficult year. So you should finish early.
Really?
If it's a nice year, then you should slow down. But you should come and go. What is the Ghanaian Times saying this morning?
The Ghanaian Times says this morning, tackling educational infrastructure. Get Fund initiates 11,248 projects nationwide. And we're told that 7,000 of those have been completed and over 4,000 at various stages of completion.
Okay.
Also on the front page this morning, the good news that every Ghanaian is celebrating. World leaders congratulate Shirley Ayoko Bochwe on her election as Commonwealth Secretary General. Also on the front page, Ghana and the World Bank signed $260 million in a deal to tackle energy sector inefficiencies. And then MacDan, we're told, is set to build a port at Ada to enhance maritime transport and logistics.
Well, Daily Graphic this morning, election 2024. Economy dominates voters' choice. Graphic poll reviews. And also, Shirley Ayoko Bochwe's story is here as well. She's the next Commonwealth Secretary General. December 7 polls will be peaceful. President reaffirms commitment. And Ugandan president directs handover of Kitizi landfill to Jospon.
The Daily Post says EC's trickery to rig the election exposed again. Also, Mahama meets diplomatic corps on Ghana's elections. And Mahama wants the big men behind Galamsey arrested. This is quoting Kofi Adams.
BNFT, BOG governor pushes for private sector support in G20's debt relief efforts. IMF projects economy to grow by 4%. Ghana World Bank Inc. $260 million deal for energy sector reforms. And also, you have Amansia Rural Bank records 90.54 growth, and Oyster Agribusiness raises $2 million to expand operations in agricultural sector.
The Chronicle, vote for corrupt-free Baumia, Nat Toshi tells Ghanaians. Also, report on alleged terrorist activities unfounded. That's coming in from National Security Council with a photograph of dark-wearing Minister for National Security, Albert Kandapa.
When you say dark wearing,
wear dark. Do dark. Yes.
You know, dark is something we say in Ghana. He's wearing like
dark
spectacles.
Yeah.
All right. So it says report on alleged what?
The thing people were talking about in the north, that terrorists are coming in from Burkina Faso and all the things they are doing.
And there's a troubling story on Citi. Boku conflict. Eight killed. That's gunmen block Bogatanga Tamale Highway. That's a major highway.
Major highway.
We'll come to that shortly. Let's continue.
The Herald says Zoom Lion Ghana gets presidential support in Uganda. Museveni directs handing over of Kitizi landfill to a company. LPG to replace firewood and charcoal by 2030 as NPA boss leads clean cooking revolution in Africa. Baumia promises OT University bridge, sports infrastructure. U.S. ambassador hosts Mahama, and NDC leaders. Fidelity Bank runs from procurement abuses in ECG dealings.
All right.
The new publisher says Dr. Joshua Zatu, majority leaders' maturity prevented blows in Parliament. Also, something here that says Natoshi fires retail campaign for Baumia in Greater Accra. And KGL Technology grabs first-ranked company in ICT.
On Daily Guide, we are winning the elections. This is Baumia. Ayoko Bochwe is Commonwealth Secretary General. Woman arrested for selling baby boy. And National Security debunks Reuters Islamist militants report. And then KEED, KGL, and ICT distinction.
I take you to the Daily Searchlight. Offensive chieftaincy standoff. Chief Justice petitioned. Also, a story here that says over 20,000 learners transition into mainstream schools under GEOP. And then apply for election coverage accreditation now to avoid delayed processing. That is coming in from the Electoral Commission and then also the Ghana Journalists Association.
The Inquisitor this morning, late Alhaji Salia's forged will case. CID guru in weird agenda, frees accused persons in suspicious manner. And the University of Ghana fires Lawrence Tete over false HIV claims. NDC's reset means cancellation of nurses Alawa. This is Napo. And Dr. Ajiman Bedu builds ultramodern police station for Asutre.
Okay. The Ghanaian publisher says Natoshi rallies Greater Accra for Baumia. Also, the story about the Ugandan president and Zoom Lion matters. National Security also rejecting the Reuters terrorist report. The story about Shirley Ayoko Bochwe also makes the front page. A unique story, almost. It says MPA boss leads Africa's clean cooking revolution.
The Anchor newspaper, Takwa MP rewards best teacher with car worth $14,000. Baumia invades NDC strongholds in Volta and OT. And then Nungwa Manche floors Gam Manche as president-elect of Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs.
Let me take you to the news center. NIA registers 69,000 606 kids aged between 6 and 14 years. Registration taking place in schools, children's homes, and then NIA offices and other facilities. Another story says Palime Traditional Council inaugurated, appeals to government for development, and some other stories. And I take you finally to the Informer newspaper. Forged last will and testament of the late Alhaji Salia. CID boss's strange decision drops accused persons in legal gymnastics. Another story here says that CSE allegation, Napo sets the records straight. And something here that says Ketu Chiefs back Baumia.
So, Republic Press, Ghana cannabis kingpins crushed as UK authorities grab £4.3 million smuggling ring. And then vote for NPP to protect your future. Napo tells nursing students at Yakobo is here. Kaswa overpass repairs, Accra bound traffic to be diverted until November 6. Mahama calls for constitutional review. And finally, Daily Analyst, ballot papers for OT and Western North printing house replaced over 40 equipment as bulk press takes over. The other stories here.
So there's a lot of stories today. So what I'll do is just pick a few online headlines and then we'll pick the major themes and just analyze what's happening there. So now there's a big issue on Boku. Now if you go to City Newsroom, 8 killed as gunmen block Bolga Tamale Highway. This is in Boku, right? Now that same story has a different angle on Channel 1 News. Police assures efforts to restore control of Boku. So that's something we should keep an eye on. Now, back to City, the other story has to do with the Agona West situation, where one injured after gunshot fired during campaign rally. Cynthia Morrison versus the MPP flag bearer, MPP candidate there. Now, 2 persons reportedly killed, others injured in gun battle in this Boku issue. Now, in other stories on elections, MPP parliamentary candidates for Subin Obriabua promises 90% votes. This is election 2024. And then Mahama says Ghana's constitution needs a review. This is against the parliamentary impasse. Ghana gets $260 million World Bank deal to tackle energy sector inefficiencies. Now, the finance minister is also saying that Sunon Asogli acted in bad faith by shutting down production. So all of those on citynewsroom.com. Now, if you go to Channel 1 News, 4 Ghanaians who smuggled £4.3 million worth of cannabis, jailed 26 years. Baumia promises first-class road from Damonko to Pasa, and then vote against MPP even if you are offered money, a Blackward to voters, and then retain MPP. Akufo-Addo has provided stable power. This is Napo. So both sides of the divide speaking. Meanwhile, 44 TV stations cited for indecent, offensive content. 44. Yeah. And then, as you read, EC drops Yasako printing press. Let me give you a few on my Joy Online before we get into the newspapers. Police and military assure public of reinforced security amid Boku tensions. And then Agona West story is also here. And then Chief Imam urges MPs to show goodwill in resolving parliamentary impasse. Those are some of the stories that are making the rounds. On the international scene, the US election is coming to a very, very tight close. Harris attacks Trump's New York rally, calling it divisive and demeaning. That's BBC's lead story. And then if you go to CNN, they are claiming that Trump unveils the most extreme closing argument in modern presidential history. So he did a big rally with some very interesting, controversial things coming through from there. Meanwhile, Japan's ruling party has lost its majority in a blow to their new prime minister. So we'll look at this. Some people are describing the US election as a men versus women election. Men versus women election, because it looked like men are going for Trump, women are going for Kamala. It's very interesting. We'll do the analysis for you.
And then I saw some clips from Georgia. Charlie, ballot box spar where people they've stuffed the ballot box.
Are you serious? Oh, is this our US or some other US?
No, this is Georgia, not the US. This is Georgia.
Georgia, the country Georgia.
Charlie, the people like election ring back.
It's like they are packing. Oh wow, in broad daylight. Charlie, Ghana, we are ahead of so many people.
Charlie, let me take you to this story from National Security on the front page of the Chronicle. Details on page 3. Jennifer Ambole writes and says the Ministry of National Security has refuted a Reuters report alleging that Islamist militants are using northern Ghana as a base for logistical and medical support, describing the claims as quote-unquote unfounded and quote-unquote misleading. Now, a statement issued by the ministry on October 25, 2024 debunked the news report on October 24, 2024, which alleged that Ghanaian authorities appear to be quote-unquote largely turning a blind eye to militants crossing from neighboring Burkina Faso, purportedly to access food, fuel and explosives, as well as receive medical treatment in local
Baskai, while they are debunking this guy, there's a very troubling story on Citi. Armed men block Bolga-Tanga Tamale Highway, attack passengers. Now, it says a group of armed men blocked the Bolga-Tamale Highway near Bimsi in Northeast region, setting a vehicle on fire and attacking passengers. The assailants, armed with AK-47 rifles and other weapons, reportedly stopped vehicles in search of passengers from Boku. This escalation is linked to the recent resurgence of the Boku chieftaincy conflict, which has escalated since Saturday, October 26. The armed men have reportedly burnt one vehicle and attacked several passengers. One survivor recounted the incident. I went to Tamale Airport this morning to drop someone. On my way back to Bimsi, I saw people holding guns and blocking the road. They were burning tires and said they were looking for kusasis. They screened me and I was allowed to pass when I indicated I was not one. I saw them beating someone but could not see how it ended. Now, there are about 4 stories on this. 2 persons reportedly killed, others injured in gun battle, still from the same area. 2 people have been killed and several others injured in renewed violence in Boku following a chieftaincy-related gun battle. The long-standing conflict, which has recently appeared to calm down, escalated after the return of a rival chief to the area. Alhaji Seidu Abagri, who had been in exile since installation February last year in Nalerigu, returned to Boku after a Kumasi High Court quashed his arrest warrant on October 17. That's what led to all of this. Tensions flared up upon his return, reigniting the dispute and resulting in gunfire exchange on the night of Saturday, October 26. Now, the police is now telling us on Channel 1 News that they are making efforts to restore calm to the area. So let's end with that. The Ghana Police Service has pledged to bolster security along the Bolga-Tamale Highway following a recent violent incident in which gunmen blocked sections of the road, resulting in tragic deaths of 8 travelers. The attack believed to be linked to the ongoing conflict, as we've just recounted. Now, the police, in a response, issued a statement to reassure the public, promising a stronger security presence on the highway to prevent further incidents.
That's completely unacceptable. Let's
You
do
know,
something.
they're
about
also
the
saying there's
situation.
police and military deployment in
Tension
Boku and its
there's
environs. There's a joint police and military deployment along the Bolga Walewale Tamale Highway to ensure security. We'll deal with this later during the main show.
Okay. And quickly, let me draw your attention to another story about chieftaincy. If you go to the second page of the Daily Searchlight, we're told Chief Justice petition. Now, mounting tensions in Ofinso have led to a petition to the Director of the Chief Justice of the Republic and also the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, urging intervention in a chieftaincy dispute involving Dr. Kofi Kodia Sapong, who is known as KK Sapong. Now, on October 21, 2024, community leaders, it goes on to provide some names, alleging that ongoing delays by the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs to deal with the matter could cause serious problems in the area. So we appeal to the authorities to deal with the situation as soon as possible.
Right. Daily Graphic is saying that the economy is dominating voters' choice. It's a poll they run. Story by Michael Kwe and Samuel Dodu. Majority of respondents in an online survey have identified the economy as the main factor that will influence their choice in the December 7 elections. The 1,834 respondents who consider the economy as their most important indicator represented 56.75% of the 3,232 people who participated in the poll run by Daily Graphic. Now, the impact of jobs as distinguished from the state of the economy accounted for 406 respondents, representing 12.56% of the participants in a distant second position on the items listed against the question, while 371 respondents representing 11.48% and 332 representing 10.27% chose illegal mining, also known as galamsey, and education, respectively.
Talking about the economy, if you go to the center spread of the Ghanaian Times, we're told Ghana and the World Bank have signed a $260 million deal. And the story says Ghana has signed a $260 million deal with the World Bank to help solve the $1.2 billion dollar energy sector losses, and then also deal with other inefficiencies in the sector. Now, the deal under the energy sector recovery program comprises a $250 million credit metering procurement package and a $10 million clean cooking grant component in line with the bank's program for results initiative.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Finance is accusing Sunon Asogli of acting in bad faith in shutting down their plant over some disagreement. So Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam was speaking over the weekend to media men, and he says that Sunon Asogli acted in bad faith by shutting down his production plant over the ECG's unpaid debt. Now, the plant is a critical 560 megawatt facility. Halted operations due to ECG's outstanding $259 million debt. The shutdown raised concerns about the potential return to doomsday intermittent power outages with serious economic impacts on the country. Now, Dr. Amin Adam told the media at the close of an annual IMF World Bank meeting in Washington and assured the public that there was a resolution underway. And he also said that they thought that because of an election, everybody wants to hold a gun to the head of the government to hold them to ransom, but they would not kowtow to that.
Bernard, Ghana cannabis kingpins crashed as UK authorities grabbed £4.3 million smuggling ring. 4 Ghanaians have been sentenced to a combined 26 years in prison for smuggling £4.3 million worth of cannabis from Ghana to South Essex, UK. Now, the cannabis was hidden...
South Essex.
Essex. Right. The cannabis was hidden in sacks of Gary powder and was discovered by border force officers at Tilbury Docks in
So now
December.
when we are taking our Gary and
They will just
the
subject
UK, they will
it
come
to
and say,
undue scrutiny.
why do you bring your cannabis into our Gary?
The
They've literally poured sand into our Gary.
Can you imagine?
No, Daniel Yabua is
rocks and over
Yes.
stones, everything inside.
So we have Daniel Yabua, Edward Ejay, Christophin Beidu, and Kweku Bonsu. And they are going in
How many years?
a combined 26 years, all of them put together.
Well, the great news is that Shele Akoboche is now the Commonwealth Secretary General, something we predicted and tipped and hoped, and now we have happily received the news. This is graphic page 13, and it's on multiple platforms as well.
Yeah, congratulations to her.
Let me just read that for you. In a momentous achievement, Ghana's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shele Akoboche, has been elected as the Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations. Her election, which took place during the 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa, marks a historic milestone as she becomes the first Ghanaian and the second African to hold the distinguished position. Now, do you know the first African to hold this position? Chief Emeka Anyaoku, Nigeria, between 1990 and 2000.
Right.
Ms. Boche, 61, Ghana's foreign minister for nearly 8 years, will replace Baroness Patricia Scotland on April the 1st next year. Ms. Scotland, a British Dominican, was first elected in 2016 and is completing her 2-term tenure. And then this is a victory for Ghana, but also highlights the nation's growing influence within the global community. An article by Joshua Bediakun Kumsin. Really great story there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, let's end with a few more stories.
Final one from me. Woman arrested for selling baby boy.
Can you imagine
Story
when
from
our women are
Takrady.
doing great things on the international stage? This is this story too.
Do mine, just go on.
The police have arrested a 35-year-old mother of 6 at Nkontompo near Sekondi in the Western region for allegedly selling her 2-week-old baby boy for 300 cedis. However, other sources indicated that when the mother, whose name was given as indicated here, was interrogated by the police, she mentioned that the amount was 3,000 Ghana cedis. The details of the story is that she has 6 children and she doesn't have the means to take care of them, so she decided actually to sell the baby. And there were probes the police investigated. They found out that she had sold the baby.
U.S.
So
election has come to a very messy head with accusations, controversy over speeches made at Trump's final rally. There's been a backlash from some Latino Republican lawmakers over comments made by comedian Tony Hinchcliffe at Trump's New York rally on Sunday, including describing Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage.
Completely irresponsible.
And there's all kinds of things going on. Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama has weighed in, making a pitch to women. Trump is caught in Muslim voters. The U.S. election is a madhouse. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, Bernard, before we go, though, let me draw your attention to a brilliant editorial on page 4 of the Chronicle dealing with the errand media houses that are creating problems for everybody in this society. So it says NMC must crack the whip on errand media houses, and 44 of them have been cited.
Wow.
And irresponsible things that they are doing, completely unacceptable.
affecting our ways.
Bernard, on the back page of Daily Analyst, finally, Galamsey activities wash away parts of Aboy in Kwanta Samre Boy Road. Details soon.
Thank you, gentlemen. Coming up next is the City Business News. Stay with us.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small. Go. Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Charlie, today the matter will catch me. I received urgent order from my online store. Customer wants 10 pieces sharp. But my wahala be delivery. Stress so me too. I no get order in weeks. So then I make slow. Charlie, I decide to deliver this thing myself. Quiet. I was willing to trust my small tired car like that. But boy, I no even leave my area where the whole place full of snow. Engine kaput, pasca. Ask the boys, they help me push the car off the road. Where I look up and raise my head. Where I see for Fidelity Bank billboard top. This too just be chapter. Ebefa mpa. Then Norma Vim come. Listen, I dog the sadness and find Okada fast. I deliver all the goods, collected my money, and even got referrals from this customer. Ebefa mpa. At Fidelity Bank, we believe you can achieve your dreams. Believe with us. Ebefa.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangerine. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Nashika Caesar is here with City Business News. Good morning, Na.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Coming up, Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam wants Parliament recalled to ensure timely passage of policies to enable Ghana meet its financial commitments. Also coming up, renewed momentum on the money market continues to persist for the third consecutive week, with government mobilizing 4.4 billion Ghana cedis. And later, Ghana Investment Promotion Center GIPC says strengthened private-public partnership will facilitate transformation of Ghana's economy. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. The Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has stressed the urgent need for Parliament to be recalled in order to address critical government business, which could impact both domestic and international obligations. Speaking at the end of the annual IMF World Bank meetings in Washington, D.C., Dr. Amin Adam highlighted that several essential fiscal policies are awaiting parliamentary approval and that timely passage of these policies was vital to ensure that the country meets its financial commitments.
We have submitted the renegotiated power purchase agreements to Parliament for consideration. We know that there are problems in Parliament. This is one of the effects that the suspension on government business, because we were expecting that Parliament will approve this renegotiated agreements so that the settlement between us and XN Power and Amandi will come into force. Because we don't want to undermine parliamentary processes, but we also have conditions to meet in negotiations with your partners. So how do we strike the balance? This is why I want to support the call by the majority leader for Parliament to be recalled so that we can continue to support the business of government in order for us to continue to meet our obligations and the agreements that we have signed with our partners and stakeholders.
Commenting on the challenges facing the power sector, Dr. Amin Adam disclosed that the government will soon conduct a comprehensive audit of the sector to enhance efficiency.
So most of the time we talk about ECG, but I tell you, it is not just about ECG. That is why we are agreeing to do a sector-wide audit, financial and technical review of the entire sector so that we can see, who are contributing to the cost to addressing the sector challenges and reduce the contingent liability it imposes on the Ministry of Finance.
That was the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, speaking there. Now, renewed momentum on the money market continues to persist for the third consecutive week, with investors showing heightened interest in T-bills. This comes as the government last week mobilized 4.4 billion Ghana cedis, surpassing the target of 3.9 billion Ghana cedis. Per latest auction results from the central bank, the government passed its treasury bill auction target by 441 million Ghana cedis this week. All 3.1 billion Ghana cedi from the 91-day bill was accepted. All 957 million Ghana cedis and 276 million Ghana cedis from investors for the 182-day bills and the 364-day bills. In an interview with Citi Business News, Wilson Zilevu, investment analyst with Databank, said a continuous oversubscription is expected.
So basically, the persistent oversubscription we have witnessed emanates from the sovereign's proactive adjustments in target offers, which have sort of aligned more closely with prevailing market expectation and capacity. This dynamic shift only reflects a responsiveness to investor sentiment, but also serves as a strong signal to sort of easing financing pressures on the part of the sovereign. Prior, we saw very high targets, which sort of deterred investor participation, and recent improvements indicates that this particular trend will sort of send some kind of positive signal to the markets and reigniting their confidence to engage in new offers that are submitted, which sort of aligns more with their risk appetite and return expectation.
Wilson Zilevu is an investment analyst with Data Bank. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, has indicated that strengthened private-public partnership will serve as a catalyst for transforming Ghana's economy. At the 21st edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards, Yofi Grant observed that despite global challenges, Ghana's economy was showing great signs of resilience, with the private sector playing a pivotal role in holding the economy. He emphasized that enhanced collaboration between the public and private sectors would drive significant economic progress.
Seeing the transitions in the Ghana Club 100 and seeing that over the past few years, even the top 10 has been transitioning. New companies are coming in, and the traditional companies that we thought were the champions are moving below 10. I am convinced that there's a lot more that can happen. I'm convinced that the private sector, in partnership with the public sector, will be the real impetus and movement of our economy. And as we are seeing our economy overcome its challenges, and yes, it is overcoming its challenges, if If you look at the numbers, the first quarter of this year, our economy grew by 4.8%, way above even the estimations by the IMF and the World Bank. And by the second quarter, it had even grown faster, by 6.9%. I believe very strongly that if that partnership between the private sector and the public sector holds strong into the future, this country will be the country we want to see. Our economy will grow and thrive.
Yofi Grants is Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Meanwhile, Chief of Staff Akosia Frema Osapari on her part called for collaboration to create a thriving business environment for companies.
Let us be inspired, not just to applaud, but also to act. Let us together work to create an environment where every Ghanaian business, no matter its size, can thrive. Let us nurture local talent, foster entrepreneurship, and set our domestic champions up for success, not just within our borders, but across Africa and beyond.
Akosia Frema Osapari is the Chief of Staff at the climax of the 21st Ghana Club 100 Awards, which was held under the theme Fostering Domestic Champions, Building Local Capacity. Newmont Ahafo South Mine was suggested the best company for the second consecutive time, outperforming industry giants like Goldfields Ghana Limited and MTN Ghana, who took the second and third places respectively. Now, the Ghana FinTech and Payment Association is taking significant steps to expand access to digital financial services in the northern and middle parts of the country in 2025. The association believes this initiative will promote inclusive access, noting that a larger portion of users in the southern sector currently rely on digital financial services. During a media briefing following the launch of the 4th Ghana FinTech Awards and dinner night in Accra, the association's president, Martin Awaga, announced plans for a series of roadshows aimed at raising awareness among potential users in rural areas.
A lot of digital financial services products that have been developed, majority of them are being used within the southern belt of Ghana. So there's more opportunities that need to be exploited within the northern and middle belts of Ghana. Now, there's the need to also take education to them. That's one of the things that we are working with other stakeholders to make sure going forward next year and the years beyond, we take some of these activities and events, not just within Accra, but expand the reach. So we are considering even having a FinTech Roadshow that would take us from the southern belt all the way to the northern belt so that we can engage and sensitize various stakeholders across the length and breadth of this country so that they can also partake of the digital financial services or ecosystem.
Martin Awaga is the president of the Ghana FinTech and Payment Association. Now, the dollar could be sold to you at 16 cedis 45 pesos. The British pound could be sold to you at 21 cedis 70 pesos, and the euro at 17 cedis 40 pesos. And that's all for the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for spending your time with me. Do have a great business day.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
We understand the excitement and preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chop box, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh my.
The world of sport. We'll get into that in a bit. But today being the last Monday of the month, we have EdTech Monday at 9. Today we are talking about curriculum. Designing curriculum to foster inclusion and very important things when we are designing a school program. So that's happening at 9. Yes, curriculum designed for inclusive education, fostering equality and diversity. I guess we'll be on and I'll be hosting them at 9. So write that down and tune in later. EdTech Monday, powered by the MasterCard Foundation and West Africa, the City FM giving a great platform. But let's get into kick off the latest from the world of sport, proudly brought to us by Zonda Ghana. The only people who are giving you quality trucks like Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Get in touch with them on 0501 772222 or get to them at the Tema or off the Tema Plao Road. That's where the head office is, and there are 7 branches all over Ghana. Zonda built in Ghana, building Ghana. Polytank is also bringing us kickoff. When it comes to water storage tanks in Ghana, the name we all know is Polytank. It's been with us for over 30 years and is trusted by all generations. It's the first, the best, and certainly the original. So go for guaranteed quality. Choose Polytank. Polytank near Papa Ninie. Gabi Ofe is here. He has all the news from a very interesting sporting weekend. Let's get ready for kickoff.
With his defensive work, really good.
Now, this could be a chance. Darwin Núñez is onside. He's got Salah infield.
Two-all draw at Premier League title rivals Arsenal at the Emirates yesterday. There's more on that plus. Some fans who were at the Weather City Sports team at the Star Bite at East Legon also coming up.
Move with the house air business. Or don't I am telling you, you are a failure. Tobe, this one, you are a failure.
Well, Hearts of Oak fans livid again after losing to BBN Gold Stars over the weekend at the Legon Stadium. We'll get to hear from the coach, Abubakar Ouattara, as we progress. And this.
Here in Mexico City, he's never been on the podium at this track before. He's never stood on the top step in this city. He's going to do that now. Carlos Sainz wins the Mexico City Grand Prix. Ferrari win for the second time in a week. Lando Norris comes home to take second place ahead of Charles Leclerc, going for the fastest lap.
All right, let's get into the very latest. My name is Gabi Ofen. Many thanks for joining us, and thanks to Shell, Lachelle, Zonda GH, and Polytank Ghana. Well, starting off with this, where Jerry Free scored a decisive goal for Ghana's Black Satellite as they defeated Cote d'Ivoire to advance to the final of the ongoing WAFU B Under-20 Cup of Nations qualifiers. Well, Ghana emerged victorious with a 2-1 win over their West African rivals after 90 minutes in the semi-finals that was played on that Sunday. Well, by reaching the final, the Black Satellites have also secured their spot in next year's Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations tournament, marking their first qualification since their championship win in 2021 under former coach Abdul Karim Zito. The Satellites will now face Nigeria in the final of that tournament. That's the WAFU Zone B Championship. So all the best to Ghana's Under-20 side. Well, to the Ghana Premier League, and Accra Hearts of Oak suffered another setback in the league, this time at home to Bibiani Gold Stars. The Phobians suffered a 1-0 loss to the Miners in front of an expectant crowd. And speaking of the supporters, they were absolutely livid after witnessing another defeat at the hands of Gold Stars.
Cinebla, you sit Cinebla down, sack him, talk to him, let him understand because of why you are here. Do business. You are doing business. What kind of nonsense is that? Say the elbow. Your elbow, say the elbow. Who do coach your tie? And I can't be any other tension. Move with the house area business. Or don't I? I am telling you, you are Tobe, you are a failure. Tobe, this one, you are a failure. We don't need him. You are brand new. Because put me away, work about draw, home swag. You find it difficult. You cannot make changes. Then what are you here for? It's better you go out to your country. You are sick and tired of.
Well, that's some thoughts from Accra Hearts of Oak supporters after losing 1-0 to Bibiani Gold Stars yesterday in the match week 8 of the Ghana Premier League. But let's hear from Hearts of Oak head coach Abubakar Ouattara calling on the fans to be patient with the team.
We missed some 1, 2, 3 goals. We can score. One goal, we can't score it. It's just an individual error.
Mistake, okay.
Yes.
So what should we expect from your next match, coach?
Well, every match we expect to win the 3 points. But this today match we lost 3 points. Like we are home.
Yes, because I know that once you are playing at home, we are going to win. But any message to your supporters, the fans?
Well, the process is continual. You know, when you lost 1, you lost 2, you lost 3, the supporters starting fed up. But the only thing we can tell them to continue to support us because it's the process.
Trust the process. That's Hearts of Oak's head coach Abubakar Ouattara was after losing to Bibiani Gold Stars in the Ghana Premier League. We head to Kotoko and their hopes of extending their winning streak got ended after a 1-0 draw with Basake Holy Stars at the Camp Park. Kotoko had won 3 games in a row and were on the verge of making it 4 when Albert Amua finished off a fine solo effort of a 30-minute mark for his 4th goal of the season. Here's Kotoko's head coach Prosper Natelgum.
I think it's not the result we expected, but then that's what we have. We just have to make do with it, go back and focus on our next game. I think he's done well, but then if you look at his energy and then his game intelligence, I think there's a lot that he can offer this team. So I want to congratulate him and then urge him on to continue doing what he's doing and improve upon it. Yeah, I think it's all about composure in front of goal. Once we get a composure in front of goal, which is made up of confidence, picking the right spot, applying the right technique, and then applying the right power behind the ball, I'm sure we'll be good to go. It will come.
All right, so that's Kotoko's head coach Prosper Natelgum speaking after the 1-0 draw with Basake Holy Stars. Well, Young Apostles recorded their 2nd win of the season after beating Dreams FC. The newly promoted side grabbed a 1-0 victory on match day 8 to pile more pressure on Dreams. And so it was down to Daniel Lomote getting the only goal for Young Apostles in that game. Nations FC also made light work of Newbies Vision FC with a 3-0 comfortable win at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Brace hero Faisal Chawate scored in either half, while Michael Danso netted in stoppage time to ensure Nations banked all 3 points. Away from that, Nigeria have been awarded a 3-0 victory over Libya and 3 vital points from their scheduled African Cup of Nations qualifier earlier this month, which they refused to play after being stuck in a remote Libyan airport for half a day before the match. And so the 3 points took Nigeria to 10 with 2 matches left to play. 4 ahead of second place Benin and 5 ahead of Rwanda. So good one for Nigeria. In the Premier League, Mohamed Salah's late equalizer gave Liverpool a point against Premier League title rivals Arsenal in an eventful encounter at the Emirates. Arsenal led twice but were undermined by injuries to key defenders Gabriel and Jurien Timber in the second half, having already been without suspended William Saliba. Here's Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, very proud of the team for different reasons. The first one because the courage, the quality, the domination, the absolute game that we wanted to play, especially in the first half, and the score should have even bigger in my opinion, so big chances. Then it's true that we had to make changes. They came out a little bit. We didn't have enough courage to play in the first phase more than we should have done, and there are certain very particular moments as well that I think dictates the results.
So does all the context, all the circumstances around this, the missing players, make you even more proud of your players, the ones that were out there?
Even like this, we deserve to win the game, and I think we were the better team, and we didn't. So obviously there are learnings to take from that, especially where we concede both goals.
All right, so that's Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta speaking there. Let's get to his opposite manager, that's Liverpool's Arne Slot.
What pleased me, I said it many times now, is that after having 1 day less to recover, still coming out here and being 2 times behind and then have so much energy to get the equalizer. And afterwards, both teams kept on going for results. I think that's why we saw a good game today.
So after a really good start, I think the one thing that was thrown at you was a few people say, oh look, it's been an easy start, the fixture list has been kind, but now you've had the week you've beaten Chelsea, you've won in Leipzig, you've come here and got results. What have you learned during a week of really big challenges?
What surprises me is that people say we had an easy start, because everyone that has worked in the Premier League or is still working there, everybody is telling me before I came here, there is no easy game in the Premier League.
And so that's Arne Slot, Liverpool's coach, speaking after the 2-2 draw with Arsenal. And we were at East Legon Starby for our second road show of the season. Now, some fans were pleased to be part of the train, and they shared their thoughts with City Sports.
A very difficult game to play, and I think I mentioned it earlier that you are playing one of the best teams over the last 2 years. They've been pipped to the EP, I think, twice over the last 2 seasons, so this was not going to be an easy game. However, I was expecting more from Liverpool. I thought they were a bit more measured in what they were doing. They showed Arsenal too much respect. I think it was in the last 25 minutes that we started seeing some form of performance from them. But kudos to Arsenal. This is a difficult game, a very difficult game, and 1 point I think is good for Liverpool.
All right, talk to me about the road show, City FM Channel 1 TV. This is what we've been doing this for the past years. Your thoughts? Is this your first road show?
This is actually my first road show. I've been listening to you guys since SS, like back in 2008, and this is actually my first road show. And because it was close by, I'm just around the corner, so I decided to pop in and just enjoy the game.
Well, it was a brilliant game. I felt that Liverpool had a slow start in the first half, and we had a midfield problem, but we responded. And Slot made some few changes, and it was brilliant. We managed to hold them, and overall, we'll take the points, a point apiece, so it's great.
All right, and so just watch out for a pub near you. It was our second road show this season here at City FM. Well, Cole Palmer scored his 7th goal of the season as Chelsea beat Newcastle to continue their impressive start. Jared Bowen also scored an injured time penalty to condemn United to a 2-1 defeat in the Premier League. Manchester City went back to the top of the Premier League as Erling Haaland's early efforts proved enough to beat the struggling Southampton. In Spain, Robert Lewandowski scored twice in 3 minutes as La Liga leaders Barca trashed Madrid in El Clasico to move 6 points clear of their rivals Madrid. Real were looking to extend their run of unbeaten games to 43 in the league, but that did not happen. Wrapping up with Formula 1, because Carlos Sainz claimed victory at the Mexico Grand Prix on Sunday. Now, the Spanish driver raced to victory at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, finishing over 4 seconds ahead of Lando Norris, who claimed second. That's your sport. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com and on X at City Sports JJ. My name is Gabriel Fair. Thanks to Show, Lachelle, Zonda, GH, and Politan Ghana, Papa Nini. We're back later at 5 p.m. with Sports Flash on the Traffic Avenue. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
Politan Kinye, Papa Nini, Politan Kinye, Papa Nini, Papa Naka, Messi, Papa Nini, Messi, Only one Politan, strong and reliable, trusted by generation. We want the citizens to buy only Politan. Hey, Politan, hey, Politan, hey, Politan. Polytank in ye, Papa Nunye, Polytank in ye, Papa Nunye, Accra Plumbers, say so.
Hey, well, yo, I did tire for Abu Chef. See, everything I do, Abu won't do some. Last year, I bought a cattle farm in Yanton. I see he go buy a farm next to mine. I marry Fauzia. No, he marries Fauzia's sister. I buy my motorbike. I see, no, he go buy motorbike too.
Hey, but you don't see, say, since you buy your bike, he has bought 4 motorbikes, which have all broken down. You know they maintain bikes at all.
His problem is he dey put wrong lubricant for his bike inside. The correct motorbike oil, where if you put inside be Shell Advanced Lubricant. Shell Advanced Lubricant be the only motorbike oil where they make them for motorbike to protect engine, clutch, and brake. Where you no. Wait me, wallahi, I no go tell him. Shell. Hey, well, hey, where you go?
If you don't go tell Abu, me I dey go tell him say make you use Shell Advanced Lubricant for him bike.
Hey,
visit any Shell station or distributor today to get your Shell Advanced Lubricant for your motorbike. Shell Advance, complete protection for your bike.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years now? I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, poor pickups, 4 land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sales service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office. Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off the Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power. Because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell. Go well.
Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder. ATM how go better than your bottle you are. Sankofa got you covered. Go for Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Abuna abonje krakra. Sankofa pepper powder. Red and hot, very natural. Sankofa pepper powder. Chinchinga and Nambia. Sankofa pepper powder. Noodles, Ghana jollo. Sankofa pepper powder. Eshishi anete. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Join the Republic Verse. Enter the Republic Bank space. Online or within the banking hall, we open the right doors for you to make the most of life. With our suite of superb banking products and services, our clients, corporate, SME, investments, and individuals get to enjoy amazing benefits. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We're the one for you.
Please, how much is the rice?
It depends on size, no. 5 kilogram, no. And no for 120 Ghana cedis.
120 Ghana cedis?
Ayo, right now, the importers are complaining about the high dollar rate, taxes, and import duties. So they have also increased prices. So you can ask around.
But this same bag was 25 Ghana cedis in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You see, elections have consequences. Today, when you complain, government says Russia and Ukraine war.
And you are forgetting COVID-19.
One bag of cement in John Dramani Mahamad's time, 2016, was 24 cedis. But now it has crossed 100 Ghana cedis under the NPP. The dollar was 4 cedis under Mahama. But today, it is 16 Ghana cedis under the watch of Mr. Economic Fundamentals. These are the people who told us that Yetisikaso and accommodate.
Hey, Erade, you are too ababoni. All the sweet promises have turned out to be 419.
Madam, we are all suffering. We really need a tried and tested, experienced and visionary leader who can reset our country and lead us to build the Ghana we all want.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
All right. This is Senna from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we are right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We are the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes.
Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
My brothers, my sisters, this be very important message where I want to tell you. If we want make Ghana better, we for no blame government alone. The thing we need be integrity from every port official. Because if we no get integrity, it means say we no go get transparent transactions. What we they mean when we say transparent transactions? It means say if we they do too much kululu, when we they clear goods, it go bring too much corruption for our ports. Abi you know dada, it go increase the price of clearing goods, and all this.
You're simply the best.
With you as my wife and the mother of my children, there's nothing more I could expect. You've been an amazing partner over the years. There's nothing more I could hope for than you. Adum Mami. My lifelong promise towards our marriage and family is what I ceremoniously renew again on your birthday. Happy birthday, Harriet, from Clement Asiedu Kofi Bizo of Customs Takrady to his lovely wife, Harriet. Happy birthday to Roland Bate, partner consulting services Deloitte, from your country managing partner Daniel Kojo and all staff. Roland, happy birthday to you. A good morning to my dear friend Chinebua of the Savings and Loans Association, graduating today, Monday 28th October from UPSA with a first class who? LLB UPSA. Wow. Chinebua, well done. Happy graduation. Yeah. Meanwhile, if you need funds for that major project you've been planning for some time now, or you need funds to pursue your dreams, Zenith Bank's got you covered with a loan of up to 250,000 cedis. Yes, a loan of up to 250,000 cedis. At Zenith Bank, we always look out for your financial well-being. Open a Zenith savings account today and get access to up to 250,000 cedis. Achieve your financial goals with Zenith Bank. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And Lakeside Estates have some really great offers for you. Our exclusive retirement homes tailored to help you find that perfect sanctuary to enjoy your golden years to the fullest. We have 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes developed in a serene environment, including sports complex, pharmacy, shopping mall, children's play area, clubhouse, and others. Call Lakeside on 0501 418 622 or 0204 775 042. Lakeside Hills, live your best life.
And imagine launching a career, starting your own business, or embarking on advanced studies within 6 months of graduation. And Ashesi, that's nearly every graduate's reality, from Accra to Nairobi, London to New York City. Ashesi graduates are noticed and they are leading successful careers regardless of what you choose to study. And Ashesi Education gives you a strong foundation for life. So visit hesi.edu.ga to learn more about the Ashesi Advantage. Remember, admission is ongoing. And where are you headed this morning? Are you going shopping? Are you buying fuel? Are you going to your favorite joint to get some essentials? Or you're shopping online for the things you need? Wherever you go, whatever you're doing, do it with the SG Visa card. SG Visa card is your best option to make payment for goods and services online or anywhere with a point of sale device. So make your life easy and use your SG Ghana Visa card today. Find out more, call 0302 214 314. SG Ghana, the future is you.
And if you are looking for a British education at a fraction of the cost, that is what is served at Lancaster University, Ghana. You also get a 50% scholarship and a wonderful student experience in a community that equips you to get useful employability skills. For more info, send them an email, admissions@lancaster.edu.gh, or call them on 0209 60 70 08. Lancaster University, Ghana is the only British uni campus in West Africa. To all the female entrepreneurs out there, agribusiness owners and young entrepreneurs, we see you, we understand your challenges. That is why APSA is partnering with the MasterCard Foundation to offer SME loans at an unbelievable 10% interest rate per annum. Imagine having access to about 1 million cedis completely collateral free. Your success is our success. Get in touch with APSA. Go to apsa.com.gh, go to their SME project office, or visit any APSA branch to find out more. Your story matters, APSA. Now, do you find yourself going through the pain of sore throat, nasal congestion, and you need quick relief? Worry no more. Lozati lozenges are here. They are a 100% natural and refreshing throat lozenge or lozenges with 7 pleasant tasting flavors, and they are here to help you. Lozati lozenges offer quick relief, and they are available in all Unicom outlets and pharmacies nationwide. Lozati lozenges, 30 seconds instant relief from sore throat.
So this morning, I'm concerned about security, and I'm not sure how to approach it. I'm just going to lay out my problems, and maybe you can help me. So, the weekend there was a story written by Reuters making some very serious claims about terrorist activities in parts of Ghana. A story roundly debunked denied, I should say, by the Security Ministry of National Security. And a few of the experts spoken to have also said that this is not true, that Ghana's territory was being used as a base for training of some of the terrorists, and in fact the operations of some of the terrorists in Burkina Faso coming even into our mining situation as well. Now, whilst that denial is going on, there are a few issues of concern to me. The situation in Boku has become volatile, and if you follow our news this morning, if you go on our website, there are a couple of stories from there that are concerning. That at some point over the weekend, people had blocked parts of the Tamale Bolga Highway, and they essentially were causing mayhem. It is reported that 8 people have been killed. All right, the situation has become so volatile that the MPP parliamentary candidate for Zebila is a neighbor to Boku. John Krugu has sent out a statement suspending his campaign and expressing disappointment at the government at the turn of events, because the background to all of this was that on the 15th of February 2023, the government issued a statement over the purported enskinment of a new, or a rival, if you want, chief for Boku. So that statement has been put out by the candidate as well. The Attorney General's Department has not really explained their side of the story to us in relation to, because don't forget there was an arrest warrant placed on this person who had been enskinned in Naregu, and somehow this was challenged in the Tamale court, eventually heard in Kumasi, and the removal of that arrest warrant seems to have led to a series of events resulting in some of the escalation of tensions we see there. So that's one thing we're concerned about. The whole northeast zone, Boku being the epicenter, but surrounding communities as well. Even the whole Bolga Tamale Highway is an issue, right? So that's one. The number two, you have the Agona West situation, and it would have just been seen as a normal scuffle had one person not been shot. But again, we understand there were 2 events. One was like a rally by St. Morrison and a group, and the other one was like a house-to-house campaign, and the 2 groups met. And somehow it led to, I won't call it fisticuffs, but somebody was shot in the rib, and this person has been sent to Kolebu. So it's not just people arguing and shouting, all right? Now, when we analyze the NCC survey, 99% of Ghanaians said they would not take part in electoral violence. But the thing about electoral violence is that the 1% can cause a lot of problems. So even if 1% are willing to do it, and in that survey, 84 people said they were willing to take part in electoral violence, 30 women and the rest men. That was a problem for me, all right? So we've seen the Boku situation, which has been on and on and on and off, and it's become another layer. Then you have the Agona West situation. Then when you listen to the campaign, generally the campaign has been okay, but yesterday I was listening to CNR, I was listening to the Ashanti Union of MPP speaking at a rally in Subin, and then he said, well, if they see people they don't know coming to the electoral area on motorbikes and they can't identify them, they should resist them and all of this. I just feel that, we should tone down on some of those things, because sometimes you may mean well and tell people that defend your vote, but people may take that to mean a call to arms. So I just want to urge political leaders to be minded about how to even communicate what they want to communicate in relation to people voting and doing what they have to do. Okay, because it's like, well, if you vote, don't go home, stay at the police. And NDC too have said that as well. Okay, now I'm just saying that our political leaders must show more responsibility in the way they communicate people's assertiveness, because I see they want to say they should be assertive, but there's a difference between assertiveness and then giving people a free hand to get into the streets to misbehave. And what has happened in Agona West, for me, should guide us, because this is not even NDC MPP. This is MPP versus independent candidate. What is a gun doing there? Why is the guy being shot in the rib? This is probably a misunderstanding about a route. If you listen to the gentleman who was interviewed by Calvis, it was not supposed to have been any serious thing. All right, these guys are doing their rally somewhere. You guys are doing your door to door. You are moving, and it appears as if you come on the same road, and then you hear hey before you see Obia Tutu. All right, and the other thing is that Ghana rumor, and then don't forget, you add this to 44 media houses being cited for the way they cover news, which can lead to more violence. All right. So I feel there's something we need to do about. This is going to be a very, of course, every election is important, right? But this particular election, I think we should consciously de-escalate tensions. I think I also West Wogon showed us that if we don't take a serious view to electoral violence, it will cost all of us. So there should be a certain conscious infusion of responsibility into the campaigns. I think the leading political figures must make a peace pledge, and they must use the next few weeks of the campaign, at least whatever they say, to commit to peace. And then to also warn their members that you can't do anything foolish on my behalf. You know, there's a difference between saying, I am for peace, but what you tell your people, right? So you need to say to them, look, don't go and fight on my behalf with a gun. I don't need you to do that. I have sent my message across. I know people will vote for me. So we want to appeal to the political leaders to be more intentional, about the rhetoric of peace, to be more intentional about it, because if you compare the situation we see in the media to what is even reported in the surveys. So if you take the Afrobarometer, for example, people's trust in many institutions is low. And that is not very good for...
Very low.
You know, I was shocked to hear some of that. You know, when I did the editorial on the NCC one, they found out that the EC, for example, or our electoral system, there was a very low score on confidence in the electoral system. This is the NCC September survey, and they did a regional breakdown, and the highest region was Northeast, 55, right?
Yeah.
And 55 is not that great, and that's even the highest. So the average was around 38. All right.
Yeah, because I'm looking at
and now that's NCC.
Yeah.
Now you have the Afro.
Yeah, I'm looking at the around 10 for
Afrobarometer.
instance. Yeah, I'm looking at the Afrobarometer around 10, and on the questions on trust in institutions, how much do you trust each of the following, or haven't you heard enough about them to say? I'm looking at the EC, for instance, and
what's the figure?
Basically, only 11%.
Are you serious?
The EC a lot. And
what about somewhat?
17% somewhat.
So 28%
basically.
That's terrible.
Yes, and if you look at the decline, for instance, from 2012 it was at 59%. This year the EC is at 28%. That's if you look at compared to last year even, that's a 4 percentage point reduction.
So the question is it part of a general decline in trust for institutions, or is there something particular about the EC that needs to be looked at? Because, Sky, you've covered elections in Ghana. You know that generally in election periods, oppositions will attack the EC and the government will defend them. So it's normal to hear that. But the decline over 3 rounds to below 30, I think is serious. And I feel like, I don't know whether it's because of the growth in social media. So people now have places for taking news. So in the past, there was a way in which you can control the narrative generally. So maybe there's a lot of noise, but you interview 2 or 3 people, you do a press conference, and people say, okay, the EC has spoken. But now you can have, fake news cards, you can have people online doing one-man shows, and they can run down institutions over prolonged periods, and the institution may not get the chance to respond to it. So I think the social media, new media consumption pattern is eroding confidence in institutions in a way that I don't think the institutions themselves realize. I don't think they realize, because, for example, you can go and say something as a EC member at a program in Kumasi. Somebody will probably take the audio. He may edit it or he may not, but he will use it to do damage. So by the time, and he may even play it out of 10. So you can say something in March 2019, and somebody repeat it and share it fresh
2024.
October 2024, and it sounds... Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a general decline in situation, and I don't know that we should be worried about that, because there are 2 sides to this. We are saying we need strong institutions for a democracy to function. You need strong institutions, not strong men. So generally we accept that. But if the way people consume news is leading to an erosion in confidence in institutions, and the way institutions also conduct themselves, like the way parliament has issues, right? Is it that people are being misinformed to mistrust institutions, or institutions are not doing enough? Because judiciary too is low. A lot of the institutions that you expect to be the anchors of a democracy are getting low scores. Is it their actions that is leading to this, or is it the way people are being primed?
Because if I look at this, and basically the most trusted institution would be the Ghana Armed Forces.
Can you imagine?
Which is a problem.
Can you imagine?
41% say they trust
a lot.
But why should that be a problem? It shouldn't be a problem.
Let me run through it for you.
It's good for people to trust your army. Isn't it good?
Okay,
it's a
it is good.
See,
no, but if you look
or us against who?
Yeah, and then because of the likelihood that you have an adventurer who wants to take advantage of that, the impression being created is that all these other institutions look at the.
So
list.
what's the first one there?
You have the Ghana Armed Forces. You have the religious leaders.
So armed forces, what percentage?
41% say they trust it a lot.
Exactly, a lot.
And this is the highest in the country.
This is the highest.
Somewhat,
is this a total of 100?
Yes, somewhat 24.
No, what I'm saying is that do these add up to 100 or everybody over 100?
Everybody over 100.
Everybody over 100. Yes. Okay.
Now, if you
so
go
the second
to
one is
religious leaders, 25%.
But that's low.
Yeah,
and that's number 2.
Number 2.
And what's number 3?
Number 3, NGOs and CSOs.
Also 25.
Also 25.
25. And then you have Ministry of Health, 22%.
Okay.
You know, then you have traditional leaders. Traditional leaders, 20%. You have the president, 14%.
You gotta be kidding me.
Then you have the courts. This is devastating. This is like troubling. 13%.
Out of 100?
Courts, 13%.
Fred, you have to call somebody from Afrobarometer to explain these numbers to me.
Then you have the Electoral Commission, 11%.
Even worse than the NCCUI.
Yes. Then you have the police, 11%. Opposition political parties, Bobo, 10%. Then you have the New Patriotic Party as a party in government, 10%.
Oh, God.
They have members of parliament, the ones who were misbehaving recently, 9%.
Oh, God.
9% too, and they are not realizing it. And then you'll have MMDCs.
So the question:
6%.
How has this moved?
And assemblymen, Bernard, we have been on this assemblymen.
My reporter.
They are the bottom.
How much?
5%.
So what I wanted the government to do was to tell me how this has changed in the past 2 cycles. If there's data, if there's data on this, because so for example, the army, what was it before?
If you go to the armed forces, in 2012 it was at 72%.
Okay, and then
it came to 56% in 2014. Then it went up to 75% in 2017. Then it dropped slightly to 72% in 2019. Then it dropped further in 2022 to 67%. And now it's at 65%.
So this is at an all-time low. So it's funny. So Sky, even though you're saying they are the most trusted, the real story is that even trust in the army is at an all-time low.
Not an all-time low.
Compared to this...
2014 was 56%.
2014 was 56%.
But isn't 50 higher than 41?
No, this is what?
65.
65.
Oh, sorry. No, today is how much?
65.
So it's higher.
Yeah.
So it's not an all-time low. 65 is the highest.
It's just taking a dip.
And the second one is what?
The second one as in what?
The second in the ranking.
So when you look at opposition...
what I'm saying
religious leaders.
Religious leaders.
Religious leaders.
For 2024 is how much?
2024 is 25%.
So the army is 65 and religious leaders is 25. So a 40% gap.
Yes.
Because of the misbehavior we're seeing from even religious leaders.
But of course, the religious leaders do not feature in the trends.
Okay. So what's the third one on the list?
NGOs and CSOs.
Do they feature in the list?
No, they also don't feature in the trend.
What's the fourth in the list?
So the fourth is Ministry of Health.
Do they feature in the list?
No. So if you like, let me just mention those in the trends.
Yes.
In terms of, so MPs, opposition political parties, ruling party, president, police, courts, electoral commission, and Ghana Armed Forces.
Let's deal with president. Where has president come from?
So it went from 56% in 2012 to 28% in 2024.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. What about MPs?
So if you look at MPs, for example, they also went down from 49% in 2012 to 24% in 2024.
What about what else is there?
The 8th Parliament.
Wow.
If you look at, for example, opposition political parties, they've also dipped from 54% in 2012 to it's now down to
So who do people trust in Ghana?
The armed forces.
No, 65 is not that high.
No, that's
but
the highest.
because if you look at the trends in terms of the evolution, 2024 they are the
but
highest.
who is not there? Maybe they are there. Maybe they are not. Maybe they trust influencers.
Like who?
Influencers on social media. Maybe they trust them.
No, I don't think.
I don't.
Sky, we are in an era of dissipation of trust in institutions globally.
Yes,
so people, as I say, people because of how they consume their news, they view celebrities. Maybe they trust celebrities. I don't know.
Bernard, and what is even more troubling is if you go to the matrix concerning corruption, right? Who is corrupt? Ghana 2024. The police, it looks like that's for that position. The doctors recommended it for the police.
Why?
So 63%, they're still there.
Yeah, but if you collect, you see, the thing is that the last mile, if police will go and stand at Trotro station and still collect yellow and red notes, people will not respect them. And this is people's reality. So the police force has a lot of work to do in that area.
That's crazy, yeah? Mm-hmm. Then you have the office of the president following the police closely, 54%. The office of the president for corruption, I mean, that they have to do a lot of work on that.
Terrible.
Then you have tax officials.
How much?
53%.
Okay, wait, what's the question?
The question was...
what is the percentage?
How many of the following people do you think are involved in corruption?
So this one, they're higher the worst.
Yeah, that's right.
So 53 means 53% of the people think that the tax officers are corrupt.
That's right.
What's the fourth one?
And the members of parliament followed closely, tax officials.
True.
Members of parliament. I mean...
it hurts you a lot.
It hurts me because I love that institution. 51% and 40% say somewhat corrupt.
Let's take a break. Let's bring social media trends. Let's allow this to sink in. We are dealing with two issues. Security.
Followed by another institution I love, the judiciary.
What is that number there?
Surely 44%.
But even with the media, we are no better. That is bad. Though. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we're looking at two things: security issues in the country, and then decline in trust in institutions and how that should be concerning. Citi Breakfast Show is live, 3 minutes past 8. Taking social media trends is brought to us by
Telecel More Money promo is just getting exciting for 2 extra months, giving you even more chances to win big. We are now rewarding 4 lucky winners with 30,000 Ghana cedis every week and $1 million Ghana cedis grand prize still up for grabs. Keep purchasing data, airtime, reload your data on your fixed broadband, get closer to becoming a millionaire. The more you reload, the better your chances. So dial *500#, send win to 500, visit the Telecel Play app to opt in for free. Is a promo that's regulated by the NLA on the Caritas lottery platform. Telecel is connecting energies. Now if you want to send money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria and Sierra Leone, it's now easy. First Bank Ghana through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is making it easy for you to do that. All you need to do is to visit any of our branches and your cash is transferred. To receive money, all you need is a First Bank account. So call this number 0596 921 921. First Bank, you first.
All right, so let's go to Nathan for the trends this morning.
All right, let's get into the trends. It's a very, very interesting weekend. Several things all happening at the same time. So the NSMQ semis took place. Presec is in the trends. I'm quite surprised they lost to Kwabuchi.
It was a tiebreaker. It was a tiebreaker.
Close. Very, very close.
It was a tiebreaker.
In the end, Kwabuchi edging out Presec.
Why?
Host then win.
I don't know.
Oh, we are okay.
I sympathize with
you can't win every day.
You know, so it generated all kinds of conversations.
It doesn't hurt you. You're happy.
Oh, no.
So
No, not at all. No, you know, Presec, they are my people.
Liar.
I love them.
Liar. You are very happy.
Who better know how? I genuinely love Presec.
Okay, so Presec.
So now you are supporting Jolali. That's good.
Oh, yeah, that's a matter of default. Now I have to go back to.
Anyway, so Presec NSMQ semis.
But you know why they are trending though?
All trending.
It's not because they lost. I think you see they went to use some.
I don't know.
They said
Adonai Charlie Basa.
They said the whole breaking the 8 thing didn't work because you see the school has won the thing 8 times and they wanted to break the 8.
and go on tonight.
And that brings the 8, you know. Check like, and then the worst part is that the colors of the school are also MPP colors. And then they say Adon.
Boys step inside.
Politicians. Charlie, so on the break the 8 side, on the Nanado side, and on the blue. So the trend, no, it's not just it's the political people have taken over the trend.
And all kinds of things.
The colors are MPP colors. The Ado is Nanado. They bring the 8. Charlie, Bazaar.
Charlie, all kinds of things.
Charlie, so we just go sleep out.
But hold it. Yeah, let's sing. Sing with me. Sing with me.
Went out in the quarterfinal.
Doesn't matter. They don't give trophies for semi-finals and then how much money did you get? What's the color of your medal? Sing with me.
We are trending. You even lost but couldn't even trend.
So we trended.
We even lost and we are trending.
So staying with that,
even in defeat we are winning.
God is a MOBA. It's also trending. So it's here. It not be me at all. It's here.
But it was also a very close race in the St. Augustine's versus National. And I'm tipping Ketasco. They have a certain girl called Gakbeto. You know the Gakbeto used to be in Presec. They have a lady there called, she's deadly. So I'm rooting for Gakbeto.
They've come along very well.
Mauli has been there and thereabouts for a long time. Sorry, Ketasco. So we'll see.
All right. To other things, I think this was social media in Ghana. The biggest topic over the weekend. The war among influencers, the back and forth. The influencer war. So Kalije, Kojo Sheldon, 230, blah blah.
What are they fighting?
Okay, so this is it.
The business you and I will have to go and change what we are doing.
Okay, so this is it. So you know that like in the last few years we've had the rise of influencers. Now two of the most popular, Kalije and Kojo Sheldon. Now in the last few months or so, they've been going at each other. Why? Because you know Kalije was the one who started the Fix the Country trend.
Yes. Then
he was very instrumental in a lot of the protests we've seen and all of that.
Yes.
Now people claim that he was being politically funded, and he's always debunked those rumors.
Okay.
And then over the weekend he decided to write a very long thread detailing his own backstory, his friends, and how the whole thing evolved. And now there's a split. Some people said, we told you the guy was politically funded.
When he said he had been offered
money and he turned it down, and all of those things. So Kalije and Sheldon.
And what's Sheldon's problem?
Sheldon,
he's trying to claim power.
Not necessarily. You know, Sheldon is always kind of leaned more towards the MPP side, and he's been accusing Kalije of being funded by the NDC.
So right now police has reached influencers too.
So the two of them have been going back and forth. Now in the midst of all of this, during Kalije's revelation, he said that people were giving money to come and tweet about Ken Ofori-Atta and that he was doing well, even when the city was misbehaving.
So he was taking a jibe at.
So now Ken Ofori-Atta is in the trends, and the boys who went to take money to come and say that.
We brought straight bullets. So they say those of us, the way we are rich.
Oh really?
We've been collecting. And
in that conversation.
Now again from the thread.
Sky, you've been collecting. You've been telling me.
Oh really?
So from the thread, Kalije also said that. So when he was approached by the politicians, he was told to set up an NGO, which would be like a funnel for the money. So now NGOs too are trending.
If you set up an NGO in the past 4 years,
you have a problem. Now people were listing the NGOs that have popped up in the last 4 years, and they are looking at them with suspicion.
So the influencer wars
is happening.
Stop running down.
Meanwhile,
all of these are affecting everything.
Meanwhile, the school placement links is not working.
It's not.
Schools have less than a week to go to school. That one will not trend.
Anyway, let's end on the sporting note. You can have a weekend of Premier League.
While you are sleeping, people
La Liga.
People work.
So Madrid.
There's a reason I'm making that point. While you are sleeping, snoring, people are working. And when they are chopping their money, you are sad.
It's okay.
And you go on social media with your one Ghana.
Why is Man U trending? I want to know.
But they did their thing again.
This thing that you do. This thing that you do.
Who says Man U is ready?
Even if they are not in the trends, they are.
Is it not Real Madrid?
They did their thing again.
Nathan, end the thing.
They were robbed.
Yeah, but that penalty there.
They were wrong.
The penalty there. Listen, if Alan Shearer of all people can say that this is a bad penalty, then it's that bad because he never says anything.
So
good about
you
Man
were
United.
robbed.
So anyway,
so they're also trending.
So football trends: Ten Hag, Arsenal, Robertson, Mbappe, Dalot,
But the thing Saka did to Robertson is not good. You don't treat adults like that. You give him Sule and then make him sit on the floor.
Such a disrespectful little so and so. Ballon d'Or is also trending. Tonight is the Ballon d'Or ceremony.
Vinicius has won it.
So yeah,
Vinicius has won it.
It's obvious.
And then so others
it should tell you how low the Ballon d'Or has
are trending. So guys, I think I'll
who is
looking for a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Wouldn't we say to bank be no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking, it's in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. First Bank, we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Kind of way, tell you so the more money promonable.
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draws. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi, you mean omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
Omnibisic Bank. At your service.
Efia, I've been thinking. Have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS. And now, she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Efia, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The NPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
Are you a female entrepreneur, young business owner, agribusiness, fintech, or agri-tech venture? This one's for you. We see your need for funding for your business, and we believe that your story matters. So in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, ABSA is offering you collateral-free loans of up to 1 million Ghana cedis at 10% interest rate per annum. We've already pumped over 1.3 billion cedis into over 6,000 businesses. Yours is next. Visit our SME project office, your nearest ABSA branch, or head to absa.com.gh. Your story matters. ABSA.
This is Senna from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we are right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We are the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
Hey, put your phones in the air. Hey, wave your awesome cameras. Where the party day? You also like Samsung Galaxy. Hey, get out the way, get out the way. Make way for the boss. Get out the way, You need long-lasting battery life for this party. Take a picture, my sister. Boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy. Wait till this morning. Boss. Take a picture, my sister. Boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy. Then a baby morning. Boss. Get out the way. Make way for the boss.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Simply invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Plan today and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement. It's that easy. The best part is you get to enjoy salary increase 16% this year. Call Old Mutual 0504 534 333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh or simply dial star 789 star 01 hash to request a call. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
And did you know that your energy giving, great tasting Lucozade has a new look wherever you are today? Grab the now sleeker, slimmer Lucozade original 330 ml can with the same energy you've known for years. Go ahead, grab your Lucozade sleek can and discover the same unbeatable energy with every sip. Lucozade, restore your energy. Is an advert that is FDA approved.
Nathan, before we come to you, what are you doing for EdTech Monday today?
Today we're talking curriculum design.
Thank you.
Right.
Who are you
curriculum
speaking to?
design for inclusive education. And I have 4 guests. Albert Nunu.
Okay.
Gifty Ayoka,
Okay.
Douglas Aite, and Dr. Patience Abo.
These are 9 o'clock.
Yes. So we are
Amazing.
talking curriculum design. I think it's a very interesting topic, looking at the general context at school, placement links. And I mean, basically, look, curriculum design is important, especially if you want to talk about equality, diversity, and inclusive education. So
and all of this at 9.
Yes.
The MasterCard Foundation with the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology and, of course, the Citi Breakfast Show. Tune in live with Nathan. All right, let's get a few couple from you.
Yes. This Friday, November 1, experience a seamless blend of Afro jazz tunes and live stand-up comedy with great acts such as the Muse Acoustic Band, the hilarious Obi and Ponsa General Intatia Chemical Putogo, and the dynamic futuristic Trigmatic. All of that is happening at Park and Watch this Friday at the Ghana Club, just a minute away from the Independence Square. Gates open at 6 p.m. Come around and enjoy yourself. It's a great night of movies, fun, comedy, great food to eat. Park and Watch is brought to you by Hype Up Limited in collaboration with the Ghana Club, IT Consortium, Shango, Namibia High Commission, Africa Arts Network, Wachi Yere, Caution Cocktail Bar, and Alpha LED. Hype Flix Driving, just park and watch. Now imagine the unexpected happening to you, and you leave your loved ones behind, your spouse, family, and the people you cherish the most. Death is inevitable, but SNIT can make things easier for you. The SNIT scheme has an inbuilt life policy that pays your loved ones a lump sum when you are no more. Make that decision today. Enroll on SNIT and protect your survivors. SNIT will deliver on our promise. And if you need to service your car, call Auto Parts Wholesale. They have factory service products like engine oils, coolants, transmission oils, batteries, brake parts, all of that to keep your car on the road for many years to come. Find them at Ashale, Butcher School Junction, Spintex Road, North Kanishi, and Hacho.
Okay. So watch out for that. This morning, 2 issues on our minds: security of concern. Of course, there have been pockets of issues. Now, the thing about security is you need to put different things together. The Galamsey situation is a security situation in many ways, because if you look at, for example, what happened to Erastus and his team, where there are communities where if you go to try and report on Galamsey, you will be attacked. All right. Of course, he wasn't attacked by community people; he was attacked by security for a mining thing. All right. Don't forget, we went to Eswom to do a report. When we came back, some people went to the town to attack people.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a whole thing we've done on Galamsey and the elections, where there are plenty constituencies and localities where support for mining is very critical in winning elections. So it means that people who try to stand against it or write against it may be attacked. So there's that. And the other thing about Galamsey is the unintended consequence of arming people, because once you have security people working with miners, everybody there who's in the concession thinks they need to be armed. And even if the mining concession is finished, the weapon doesn't leave. So there's a relationship between proliferation of small arms and mining communities. Then there's also the claim around what happens in the northern part of Ghana, where the Burkina Faso situation with a number of terrorist activities in the country and links to illegal mines. Because don't forget, the president of Ghana himself went to meet the U.S. authorities and complained that the Russians were helping the Burkinabe rebels and that mining was part of it. All right. So I think we need to connect the dots between the way people are aggressive about mining, particularly where's the money coming from. Anecdotally, we say, oh, foreigners give money. But which type of foreigner? Is the foreigner an armed group? Is the foreigner an backed? Is the foreigner somebody who backs an armed group outside the country? All right. So the Galamsey equation is a very complicated equation. Now, add that to the Boku situation, where now you have the release of a man who was purportedly enskined in Nalerigu. Government issued a very clear statement in February last year that this is not right. They issued an arrest warrant for the person. Now, he's managed to get a court to overturn that, and we understand he's on his way, or he did go to Boku. So the escalation of the violence is traced to this. Okay, so you have the mining situation, proliferation of small arms, then you have pockets of chieftaincy disputes, you have terrorism in Cote d'Ivoire, and then you add that to an election that is very competitive. All right, we have a very volatile election situation, a very volatile security situation. Then you add the CDD, NCCE reports on trust in institutions. All right, then you have a whole group of civil society asking the government to declare state of emergency in mining communities where mining is going on because they don't trust that business as usual can solve it. You know, so the untold story about this election is a security issue. All right, the Burkina situation, the northeast enclave. Now we're told 8 people have been killed by gunmen who blocked a major highway. This is not like a village road. Tamale to Bolga is a major road. You know, everything that we, okay, I won't say everything, probably half of what we export to Burkina Faso goes on that road. The other may go through the Western Enclave. But this is very serious. Okay. I am expecting further clarification from the Ministry of National Security, because they were very quick to respond to the claim by a news house that terrorists were being groomed in this country. I think they need to put the Galamsey, the Boku issue, the Burkina issue,
the same basket.
In the same basket, and issue a comprehensive statement. Am I making a mistake? Because you cannot delink the issues. And to add all of that to an election in less than 2 months. All right. What does this even mean? Now, the MPP candidate for Zebila, which is a neighboring constituency to Boku, has suspended his campaign. And he's issued, I'm going to read the statement he put out. All right.
Read it.
And this man is not a rabble rouser. Okay. He's not
It's not your giddy.
yeah, he's not
politician.
so
like
for John Krugu to issue a statement of this nature, it must tell you how grievous it is. Now, this is the Dr. John Kingsley Krugu, parliamentary candidate for Zebula. By the way, he's I think he's an EPA now. He's head of EPA. All right. He copies this to the presidential candidate of MPP, general secretary of the party, the regional chairman, the constituency chairman. All right. Now, it's longish, but I think I'll read it.
Do.
For immediate release, dated 25th October, concerning developments on Boku crisis, suspension of campaigning. And his paragraph is, since last night, I have been deeply concerned about the recent developments that could reignite the Boku crisis and the entire Kusog traditional area. He refers to this as KTA. In February last year, the Nairi purportedly enskined Alhaji Seidu Abagre as a rival Boku Naba. This act, swiftly condemned by the government as illegible and a threat to national security, aggravated the volatile situation in Boku and its environs. The government's immediate and unequivocal response was a testament to its commitment to maintaining peace in the region, providing a sense of security to the people. In a statement condemning the purported enskinment issued on February 15, 2023, the government reiterated that the current Boku Naba, Zugran Asigri Abugrago Azoka II, was the duly recognized chief of Boku. This recognition, gazetted by both the Upper East Regional House and the National House of Chiefs, serves as a pillar of stability in the region, keeping the public well informed. 4. In the same statement, the government directed the security agencies to arrest and prosecute any other person who claimed to be Boku Naba, adding that any further development that threatens the peace of the area will be swiftly dealt with. Subsequently, a high court in Bogatanga issued an arrest warrant for Alhaji Seidu Abagre, who remained in Nalerigu after his purported enskinment, ostensibly to seek cover under the Nairi to avoid being arrested. Attempts to effect the court warrant were resisted by the palace of the Nairi. Following the government decisions, including the issuance of a court arrest warrant and other concerted efforts by the government and other stakeholders, peace has gradually returned to the KTA. These efforts, which include the direction to security agencies to arrest and prosecute any other person who claimed to be Boku Naba, demonstrate the government's commitment to ensuring lasting peace in the area. This arrest warrant issued by the High Court in Bogatanga was challenged at the Appeals Court in Tamale. But quite curiously, the Office of the Attorney General put in a written defense. The Court of Appeal recently ruled to overturn the High Court's decision. The Office of the Attorney General had filed an appeal against the decision of the Court of Appeal. But in yet another twist, the Office of the Attorney General announced that it had abandoned its intention to appeal to the decision of the Court of Appeal. I have reliable information indicating that Alhaji Seidu Abagre has returned to Boku. Tensions are already building up, potentially reigniting the area's crisis. I view this recent series of curious coincidental developments as acts of provocation that could have severe consequences for the peace of Boku and the KTA, which is the Kusau traditional area. I'd like to emphasize that the right to self-determination would not be varied under any circumstance, and that the people of Kusau are determined to ensure their dignity and cultural heritage are always protected. 12. I am, by this release, calling on the government to issue a statement directing the security agencies to arrest and prosecute Alhaji Seidu Abagre should he and his assigns act or insinuate in any way to suggest that he holds himself out as a Boku Naba. 13. Should the government fail to act on time, I will take further appropriate steps to protect life and property in the KTA. I'm calling on the government to give meaning to its February 15, 2023 statement when the acts of provocation started, and also ensure that the laws of Ghana are enforced and complied with by all. 14. In the interim, this is a very serious emphasis, I have suspended my campaign and all party activities in the Zebula constituency until the government takes decisive decisions on the ongoing acts and potential threat to peace and security being instigated and perpetrated by Alhaji Seidu Abagre and his accomplices. 15. While we take steps to demand and ensure respect for the rule of law and the enforcement of the laws of our country by the government, I call on the good people of Kusau to remain calm despite the acts of provocation. Signed, Dr. John Kingsley Krugu, parliamentary candidate for Zebula. Copy to the General Secretary, presidential candidate, regional chairman, and the constituency chairman for Zebula. I have him on the line for more on this. Good morning, Doc. Thanks for joining us. Hello, good morning, Dr. Krugu.
Hello, good morning.
This is Bernard. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing well.
It must have taken a lot for you to write this statement and to suspend your campaign. Is your suspension a protest, or is it based on the security considerations of campaigning in Boku West?
Oh, I think it is. It is based on the security consideration. I'm a public health expert, so when life and property are at stake, I don't believe there's anything else more important. And some of us are seeking for the opportunity to represent people. And so when people are dying, when people lives are being lost, there is nothing left to hold on to. And that is the reason why I've suspended my campaign and all other political activities to save life and property.
What is your briefing on the current security situation in Boku itself and the neighboring communities in the KTA area?
I think in the last 2 days, the situation has been very, very sad, to say the least. I can tell you that the situation is more or less in a full-fledged war situation. And so both sides of the factions are not reporting the reality, because in a war situation, you do not want your opponent to know how much manpower you are losing. And so whatever you would have heard in terms of casualties, in terms of people killed and all of that, I can tell you it's just a tip of the iceberg. I'm aware that in the last 2 nights, people haven't slept. It's been a full-fledged war ongoing. Now you have a situation where you literally have 2 factions chiefs living next to each other. You know, Boku is not a big town. And each side is aiming at getting to the other person, you know. So you have what in the words of the government, an illegitimate and chief who's sitting there now, and then you have the existing chief who's celebrating 40 years on the throne, and he's also there. Then you have many young lives being perished. Last night, when we got the message that the Presby Hospital, there were no place to put injured people, and roads were blocked. You cannot carry injured people to Borga for treatment. The roads between Borga and Tamale were blocked, and people were being searched for their Ghana card to identify their travel affiliation and to kill them. And I'm aware that even some people who are not belonging to the 2 tribes were killed. They were mistakenly killed. But that is completely not Ghana that I know. It's completely unacceptable. And so it's a very sad development we have. Very, very sad.
What do you reckon to be the missing link between government's stated position in their February press statement, which was very clear, and the defense of the Attorney General? Because it appears as though it was the decision to lift the arrest warrant that allowed Alhaji to enter the town, which you can say is the trigger to the latest round of fighting. So what's going on? The government statement has not changed, right? And yet it seems as if the defense of that particular legal status, once the court has varied it, it frees the man to go to the town. And that's what led to this. So what's going on in your view?
Those are the biggest questions on the table. And, you know, it is not only the lifting of the the question of the arrest warrant. But if you are very familiar, Boku is heavily guarded. There is a military, I don't know what to call it, there's a military post in Boku, in Binduri, the whole military post there. Okay, and you have police, you have all. So Boku is a heavily security tight place. So granted that the arrest warrant was quashed, there is even a bigger question. How did the purported chief got into Boku and to engage in the whole ceremony? If I show you videos of when they got there, they did not get there in a quiet and went in and stayed somewhere quietly. There has been a whole investiture, to kind of complete the whole process of him becoming a Bokunaba. That also happened in Boku. And under the watch of security. So there are bigger questions to that. And that kind of laxity to the whole situation has led to the scores of lives being lost. The pictures I have on my phone, the images I have, what is going on there? There are more questions than answers, and I don't have the answers. Why on earth would Attorney General say that, look, the question of the arrest warrant is wrong, so I'm going to court to make sure that the arrest warrant is restated. And the application to do that stated on the grounds of the appeal. In the grounds of the appeal, you would see that the judge aired a number of statements that shows why the judge aired in question the arrest warrant. Then the following day, the same Attorney General goes back to court to say the state is no longer interested in pursuing this matter. Then in the evening, a purported illegal chief, according to the worst of the government, has been brought to Boku. Then we have a full-scale war in our hands. I don't have the answer. I have been asking these questions in the last 2 days. Where I sit in my hideout, I don't have a single answer.
To what extent do you think this could affect elections, and which places would be affected? Because today we heard that there was even some issue on the Bolga Tamale road, right? We are told that there were travelers on that road. Gunmen blocked the Bolga Tamale highway near a place called Grimsey, and people were being attacked. My question is, if this does not de-escalate and if peace doesn't return, how many constituencies would you think how big is the area of under threat here? Is it just Boku, or could this be a bigger area, landmass?
No, it's big. It's a whole traditional area. So it covers 6 constituencies altogether. You have Puziga, you have Tempane, you have Garu, you have Boku Central, you have Binduri, and you have Zebila. All these 6 constituencies is under the same traditional area. And so, worst case scenario, this area is going to be upset, And you see, the reason why I suspended my campaign completely, there's a reason to it, because this Boku crisis is nothing new. But almost every election year, Boku crisis take a center stage in the electioneering campaigning. So I am contesting on the ticket of the ruling party. And then I have opponents who are contesting the independent or an NDC and all of that. They go out there, and as you know, that our presidential candidate, is from one of the tribes of the faction, the conflict. And so my opponent would say that vote against him because he is part of the conflict. What would be my message as a candidate of the ruling party? I said, no, do not hang this on his neck because this conflict even predates his birth. Conflict was there before His Excellency the Vice President was born. So don't put this on his neck. Let us find a solution to the conflict and do not let us politicize it that way, because in that way it will escalate after the election. That has been the center of my argument against people who want to capitalize on the conflict for political gain. Now, if this is my position, and this whole thing has flared up on my face, what should I go and tell the people? And as we speak now, no statement from my party, no statement from my government. The February 20, the statement that was signed by the Honorable Kojo Opong-Pluma. Today, we don't have a statement coming from the current Minister for Information. And people are dying. Every minute, people are dying. What's going on? What should I go and tell people?
Well, this is not. Can a bipartisan approach solve this while we wait for government? Because clearly, a government has to issue a statement to tell us where they stand on this. But seeing as you, as a candidate, as a your campaign, and seeing as an election is close by and everybody's thinking about elections, could the candidates come together to send a message to the people to stop the fighting? Especially because, of course, candidates are from different sides. It will be seen as a show of solidarity and a show of unity if you and other candidates from other sides issue a joint statement. Is that something you are considering?
Not only considering, it's something I've been calling for in the last 2 days. And I've been asking questions, and I have thrown this question even to all sitting members of parliament. In the 6 constituencies, we have members of parliament. I'm asking the question, why are they keeping quiet? Not only candidates, but there are sitting members of parliament. Why are they keeping quiet? You see, anybody who thinks that, well, I don't want to open my mouth because I may lose vote. My message to all of them is that there may not be elections in the whole of those 6 constituencies for you to win your election. And in any case, if you win, you want to represent human beings. They are dying. So I have called for this. And if you read my statement, I copied them. I've personally sent it to the likes of Muhammad Ayaraga, to the candidate I'm contesting against. I've contested with them. The 5 other MPP candidates. Why is people keeping quiet? I don't understand. Then they say if you talk, they will kill you. Then the people they are killing, they are also human beings.
Well, thank you.
So for me, there's no meaning to what is going on.
Finally, how long will your campaign remain suspended, and what condition, under what condition will you continue campaigning?
If government comes out to clearly state what's going on, because I need to go and tell people something, but I don't have anything in my hand. So I'm waiting for the government to come out clearly. And for the traditional leader, everybody needs to speak so that we all know what to do. As it is now, I don't know what to go and tell people.
Thank you for talking to us, Doc. We wish you well. That's Dr. John Kingsley Krugu, who's the parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party for Zebula. It used to be called Boku West. And he was speaking to a statement he issued, sent to the presidential candidate of the MPP, the general secretary and the regional chairman, suspending his campaign until peace returns to Boku. He also wants government to make a statement clearly stating their views on the enskinment or purported enskinment of a different person, Alhaji Seydou Abagre, as the Boku na Ba. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Attention CEOs, join Dinner 2024 on November 7, 2024 at the Mervyn Pig Hotel Accra from 6 to 10:30 p.m. This historic event will focus on reigniting the business economy and social contract for growth, a business manifesto for political accountability and sustainable development. Special guests of honor include His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Vice President of Ghana, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of Ghana. Attendance is by invitation and requires pre-registration. Register at ceogaladina.ceonetworkgh.com. For inquiries, contact 0546391970 or email ceogaladina@gmail.com. This event is powered by Chief Executives Network Ghana in partnership with Deloitte, PwC, University of Ghana, SIGA, GIPC, UPSA Law, and the Multimedia Group. The first Ghana CEO Presidential Manifesto Gala Dinner 2024, connecting political ambitions with business realities.
And switch to Samsung Galaxy A06. It's affordable yet powerful. Visit your nearest shop and buy now.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2025 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Hello, boss. I just drove out of your premises. I've called you several times. Boss, I beg.
I gave you an opportunity to present your proposal with your financial statements. You didn't. If we approve and request for an invoice, that will take you another month, eh? You couldn't even provide receipts from the last job. My brother, we have given the contract to someone else who promptly furnished us with what we needed. Get serious.
Yehoah.
Don't be caught in this mess ever again. Restart with Build. Build provides businesses with a comprehensive accounting software with features that make your bookkeeping, accounting, tax, and payroll functions seamless. Our support team is always available to assist and respond to all your inquiries. Log on to www.build.africa and sign up. Call 030-80-4007 or 0303-974-832 for more information. Build. Bookkeeping made simple. Results made extraordinary.
Sister Essie.
Teacher,
don't tell me that Yao is not in school today too.
Please, that's why I'm here. He was diagnosed with malaria.
Oh my, that boy is missing a lot in class. Don't you have treated mosquito nets? It is the most common and effective means to prevent malaria. I can't.
Madam, we now have the new treated net.
Really?
We all sleep under it.
The new nets? Speedy recovery to him.
Avoid malaria. Get insecticide-treated net and sleep under it every night and throughout the night. And remember, there's also the new insecticide-treated net. Highly resistant, strong, and is just as effective.
Let's come on board Good Life and protect against malaria. Good Life, live it well, it's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service and partners with support from the USAID.
Malaria away. Good Life, live it well.
Light off. No problem. Experience 2 days battery power with the Samsung Galaxy A06. Switch to Awesome.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling.
Wow.
Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
Make life easier with Sigma Appliances. Yeah. Your excellent go-to choice for Sigma Appliances.
From air conditioners, fridges, freezers, washing machines, small appliances, and more, Sigma Appliances has them all. Visit Platinum Impex on the Sprinters Road behind Okadeco. For wholesale, call 030-280-1555 or WhatsApp +233 55 466 6444. Visit PlatinumImpex.net.
Ifya, I've been thinking, have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS, and now she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Ifya, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The MPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
$8.52 Citi Breakfast Show with Obaya, Provident Insurance, reliable WhatsApp assistant. You can buy, renew, file claims for your vehicle anytime, anywhere, and everywhere. Simply add Obaya's number 024-2426-396 to your phone contacts. Send her a hi and follow the prompts. She'll assist you with everything from buying a new policy to renewing an existing one or even filing a claim. It's hassle-free. Grab your phone and chat with Obaya. With Provident Insurance, man, you're covered. Ghana's #1 property website, Mikasa.com, is back with the biggest housing fair event, the Mikasa Home and Property Fair 2024. If you're looking to buy your next or first home and investment property, genuine land, or get expert advice on your home ownership journey, then this fair is for you. Come meet over 50 of Ghana's seasoned developers, speak to mortgage providers, home improvement retailers, and join in enlightening and relevant conversations within the real estate industry. You can also bring your children for a fun day at the Kids Arena. It's 2nd and 3rd November at the Cozy Insights of the Mevimika Ambassador Hotel, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day. Call 0501-680-737. Mikasa.com, Ghana's #1 property website. Escape the hustle and bustle of the holiday with your loved ones for an incredible experience to Dubai and Nairobi with Copan Hospitality from 20 to 27 December for only $1,650 USD. Package includes visa, accommodation, tour activities, airline tickets, Copan travel card, and more. Don't miss out on this chance to close the year with memories to last a lifetime. For more details, call Copan on 026-234-9886. Get in touch with us on all social media platforms at Copan Hospitality. Copan, tourism at its best.
And let me ask you if you're getting good insights from your data for decision making. If not, join the data analytics and AI revolution and empower your team to work smart, save time, deliver insights from data using the world's most powerful business tools, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, ChatGPT, and Copilot. Finex Skills Hub offers hands-on practical training to corporates and individuals in data analytics with Excel and Power BI, leveraging AI tools like Copilot and ChatGPT to help you improve productivity at the office. So reach out to us, call 0244-782-356 or visit our website www.fenexskillshub.com to sign up for our corporate and individual training sessions. Fenex Skills Hub, learn, connect, and grow.
Now, Heritage Christian University College is announcing that admissions for January 2025 are in progress. Lead the change with the uni built for tomorrow's leaders. Find them at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. They are accredited by GTech. They have both graduate and undergrad programs. Call them on 0547 777 731 or hcuc.edu.gh. That's their website. Heritage Christian University College, educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. Latex Foam is saying step into their showrooms and see things for yourself. High quality mattresses and great furniture crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind, so you can sleep well and wake up feeling very refreshed. Call them on 0302 231155. Visit their website latexfoamghana.com to find out even more. Latex Foam is your partner for life. Now, if you're always moving about and you can't watch the Premier League, just go to showmax.com, sign up to the Premier League plan, pay 55 cedis, and there you have it. You can watch the Premier League wherever you go on your phone. Showmax is your stadium on the move.
Now, your favorite Cerelac now comes in a new variant with the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals. And guess what? This new Cerelac wheat and maize comes at an affordable price of only 2 Ghana cedis per sachet. So to prepare this new Cerelac wheat and milk, just add milk. In fact, Cerelac we the milk. Cerelac here for them. Count on us. This advert is
the tree jumps at you straight.
Yeah,
it's like
read, and then
it's Cerelac way.
The milk.
But the way it's written,
yeah,
you'll get confused.
But if you're looking for the perfect holiday getaway, join Global Wings Travel and Tour for 7-day tour of Cape Town and Johannesburg. My people, celebrate Christmas in style with an exclusive package from December 24th to 31st, 2024. It's a package that includes return ticket, 4 nights in Cape Town Hotel, 3 nights in Joburg Hotel, daily breakfast, Cape Town City Tour, and Table Mountain with lunch, Stellenbosch Wine Land, internal flights, Johannesburg City Tour, Soweto City Tour with lunch, Apartheid Museum, airport transfer, all taxes, everything, all of that inclusive. So make your Xmas vacation a reality by calling or WhatsApp in 055 3688 398 or 0550 188 181. Global Wings Travel and Tour, truly global, proudly Ghanaian.
Now, what is luck to you? For a lot of people, it's finding money in your trousers or getting picked out of a crowd for a reward. For many others, luck is dialing *712# to buy your ticket. The more you buy, the better your chances are of winning. Luck is on its way to you and your community. So stay sharp. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere.
Well, coming up next is EdTech Monday. This is our October edition.
Yes.
And today we're looking at curriculum.
Yes, curriculum designed for inclusive education.
As schools reopen,
Yes,
people think about... And don't forget, there was a very big discussion last week around, people want to study abroad. We're told that the WASI for some universities is no longer accepted. How should we amend our curriculum to make it more fit for purpose, to make our kids globally competitive but locally relevant? These are big conversations, and luckily the EdTech panel will jump in. Who do we have on the panel?
Yes, we have Professor Patience Abo. We've got Douglas Ayite, Gifty Ayoka, and Albert Nunu.
Wonderful. Nathan will be in the hot seat when we come back. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You play me, I play you. A stage play written by Efo Kojumagbe.
Mother, you not pay me. I didn't run. I said it's 150 Ghana cedis. That's 15,000 naira. From just this place to this place, you say 150. I took you from Tema to come to me.
Join Jonalyn Thatia Ghana, Brain Jota Nigeria, Clemento Shores Ghana, and Adra Olins Lindsay, adopted Nigerian, for a night of laughter, drama, and great moments at the National Theatre on 8 November 2024 for 2 shows at 4 p.m. first show and 8 p.m. second show, and the Boku Boxing Arena on 9 November 2024 at 7 p.m. for one unforgettable show. To purchase ticket, simply dial *713 *33 *10# or visit africaartsnetwork.com or go to the various locations: Airport Shell, Bachana Total, Roxwache, and Silverbird Cinemas Accra Mall. For more information, call 0541 234 586. You Play Me, I Play You is powered by Africa Arts Network in collaboration with Challenging Heights.
Please, how much is the rice? It depends on size, no. 5 kilogram, no. And no for 120 Ghana cedis.
120 Ghana cedis?
Ayo, right now, the importers are complaining about the high dollar rate, taxes, and import duties. So they have also increased prices. You can ask around.
But this same bag was 25 Ghana cedis in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You see, elections have consequences. Today, when you complain, government says Russia and Ukraine war.
And you are forgetting COVID-19.
One bag of cement in John Dramani Mohammed's time, 2016, was 24 cedis. But now it has crossed 100 Ghana cedis under the NPP. The dollar was 4 cedis under Mahama. But today, it is 16 Ghana cedis under the watch of Mr. Economic Fundamentals. These are the people who told us that Yetisikaso and accommodate.
Hey, Erade, ya too ababoni all the sweet promises have turned out to be 419.
Madam, we are all suffering. We really need a tried and tested, experienced and visionary leader who can reset our country and lead us to build the Ghana we all want.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
All right. Ghana's biggest housing event, the Mikasa Home and Property Fair, is here. Whether you're looking to buy an elegant house, a cozy apartment, or genuine land, come and meet over 50 top developers, home loan specialists, home improvement specialists, and get personalized expert advice on your home ownership journey. Also, join in informative and stimulating seminars with industry experts and get the chance to network all for free. Date, 2nd and 3rd November 2024. Venue, Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. Time, 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. each day. Attendance is absolutely free. Headline sponsor, Gold Key Properties. Platinum sponsor, Clifton Homes. Media partner, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. To exhibit at the fair, contact us on 050-168-0737 or info@mikasa.com. Mikasa.com, Ghana's #1 property website.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling.
Wow.
Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
What happens when ancient days meet modernity? What happens when a goddess wakes up in an era of digital chaos? Witness the epic battle between the past and the present. Catch the intrigue and suspense in Amwanime's era, a brand new epic telenovela showing Mondays to Fridays on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and GoTV channel 102. Available on DSTV Access and GoTV Plus. Dial *759# to stay connected.
Please, how much is the rice? It depends on size, no. 5 kilogram, no. And no for 120 Ghana cedis.
120 Ghana cedis?
Ayo, right now, the importers are complaining about the high dollar rate, taxes, and import duties. So they have also increased prices. You can ask around.
But this same bag was 25 Ghana cedis in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You see, elections have consequences. Today, when you complain, government says Russia and Ukraine war.
And you are forgetting COVID-19.
One bag of cement in John Dramani Mohammed's time, 2016, was 24 cedis. But now it has crossed 100 Ghana cedis under the NPP. The dollar was 4 cedis under Mahama. But today, it is 16 Ghana cedis under the watch of Mr. Economic Fundamentals. These are the people who told us that Yetisikaso and accommodate.
Hey, Erade, ya too ababoni all the sweet promises have turned out to be 419.
Madam, we are all suffering. We really need a tried and tested, experienced and visionary leader who can reset our country and lead us to build the Ghana we all want.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
All right.
This is a special security announcement. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelidor is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelidor or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
When
when champions gather 2020 in a world filled with uncertainty and shifting beliefs. Where do we find truth? The answer is closer to you than you think. From Thursday, 31st October till Sunday, 3rd November, KICC Ghana presents When Champions Gather 2024 Conference at the KICC Dominion Center off Spintex Road. Our guest ministers teaching and demonstrating the power and truth of God's word are Reverend Steve Mensah, Charismatic Evangelistic Ministries, Prophet Christopher Yao Ano, ICGC Holy Ghost Temple, Pastor Dipo Oluyomi, KICC UK. Our host is Pastor Andy Yolson. Mark your calendars from Thursday 31st October and Friday 1st November at 6:30 p.m. each night, and Sunday 3rd November 8 a.m. at KICC Dominion Center. Remember, you shall know the truth, and it is the truth that will set you free.
For inquiries, please call 0243 69 0071.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome to the October session of EdTech Mondays, live on the Citi Breakfast Show. My name is Nathan Kwame, I'm your moderator for the session. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, you're asking yourself, so what exactly is EdTech Monday? Now, it's a platform for EdTech entrepreneurs, education stakeholders, and government reps to facilitate critical and very, very important conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning. The show is an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation's Regional Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning, and is part of the foundation's strategy to find solutions to Africa's youth employment by closing the gap in access to quality education and advancing the integration of tech in education policies and practices across Africa. So that's why the MasterCard Foundation has partnered with Mest Africa to do this every last Monday of every month, and we are live on the Citi Breakfast Show. I'm sure you can hear us. And you are watching us live as well on Citi 97.3 FM's Facebook page or Mest Africa's Facebook page. So what's on our menu this month? We are talking, or our topic is curriculum design for inclusive education, fostering equality and diversity. Now, we all know that curriculums are important. Curriculum design is at the heart of educational practice, and it determines how knowledge is conveyed and received in schools. And these days, there's a strong recognition of the need to go down the path of inclusive education. We want to embrace all learners, even those with challenges or cultural differences and varied learning needs. And that's why we are having this conversation. We want to learn how to design an inclusive curriculum, and we want to find out how crucial it is. And we want to find out EdTech's role in this journey, as we provide digital tools among other things. So it will be a fascinating conversation. I have my guests who are well versed in the arts and science of curriculum design, and they know a lot on what we are about to discuss. My first guest is Professor Patience A. Abo. She is Associate Professor Health Policy and Management at the Department of Health Services Management at the University of Ghana Business School. Prof, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Nathan.
And apologies for getting the title wrong earlier.
You're pardoned.
So, doctor said no. Anyway, Prof, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And then I have Gifty Ayoka. Gifty is founder, Talking Tips Africa Foundation. Gifty, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Then I have Albert Dunu, who is EdTech Support Associate at the GSET. Albert, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. And my final guest, Douglas Aite. Douglas is founder and CEO of the Maker's Place. Douglas, good morning, and many thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
All right. And you can also join us via the number 0549986996. If anything strikes you, anything tickles your fancy, Send us a message, question, thought, contribution, comment. Would love to hear from you. So send us your thoughts. 0549986996. All right, let's get into our conversation. Let me welcome my guests once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to EdTech Monday for October.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've introduced everybody. Our listeners know at least where you work or the entity you are associated with. But what exactly do you do? Douglas, let me start off with you. You are founder, CEO of the Maker's Place. What is the Maker's Place? What do you make?
Thank you. I would like to say good morning to everyone. My name is Douglas Aite. I'm the founder and CEO of Maker's Place. Advancing STEM education across the country, working with tech partners and delivering sustainable STEM education, where we are inspiring young people to acquire skills, because we believe that the defining moment for now in the 21st century is your ability to have hands-on skills, because if you acquire those abilities, then you will be able to deliver solutions to partners or entities, and then in returns you will be making some money from your skills. Therefore, Maker's Place have been working with local and international partners to deliver those solutions in public and especially in private international schools. We helping children as young as 5 years and above to learn how to code. And we've been working with a number of schools where we've introduced innovative ideas like bring your own device into the classroom for students in primary one to start learning how to program. And some students have been on our program for the past 3 years, and you see results from what they have been doing. So yes, I'm so happy to be here to share my perspective on curriculum development, because it's also one of my expertise in doing that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Prof,
yes, sir.
what exactly do you do when you go to the office between 9 and 5 or whatever? What's your average day like, or what do you spend your day doing at the UGBS?
At the UGBS, I do research. Mainly, I teach. I think that's even the main part of my work, that I teach students, both undergrad and postgraduate students, and I do research to inform my teaching. And then once in a while you are involved in some administrative works as well. I am also the coordinator we have a unit at the business school called the Student Mentoring Services Unit. So I'm the coordinator for that unit. We try to put students in a place where they've acquired all the skills they need to be functional in our society, because we all know that what is taught in the classroom is not necessarily all you need in the industry. So we try to bring industry experts to the school to engage with these students. Some of them are taking through how to even prepare their CVs and how to answer questions in interviews. So we do stuff outside of the classroom to get them ready for industry, so they will be relevant. So I am the coordinator of that unit. And I'm also a founder of a charity organization called the X-Glow Foundation, where we do charity in very poor communities in the Upper East, Upper West, and Northern and Central regions. So I'm the director for that as well.
I see. Wonderful.
But I am also a trained nurse. I'm a registered nurse.
I see.
So healthcare is
of course. I mean, you teach health policy and all of that.
Yes, exactly.
I see.
So basically, these are the things I'm involved in.
Wonderful. Quite a full plate, I see.
I know.
Gipsy, thank you so much for joining us. You are with Talking Tips. You are the founder of Talking Tips Africa Foundation. What do you do? Okay, what is Talking Tips, and what does your role encompass?
So, Talking Tips Africa Foundation is an NGO. I am a speech and language therapist by profession. And so what we do is we provide speech therapy services for both adults and children with communication disabilities or disorders. And so for children, we see cases like autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, dyslexia. And for adults, we see post-stroke patients and adults with voice disorders. We also do a lot of advocacy around inclusion, disabilities, and then access to assistive technology. We try to let people know that these are things that we need to confront or try to destigmatize disabilities. We also we do training for parents, and for me, one of the things that I would love to see is if parents are empowered or the earliest contacts of children are empowered to detect disabilities quite early so that they can seek early intervention. So we do training for teachers, we do training for parents and nannies, and just so that they are well equipped to, detect disabilities early. The reason is that early intervention yields amazing results. And chances are that if a child gets access to early intervention, they would not need much support when they go to school. We also last year launched our Read to Baby campaign, which is my favorite. So Read to Baby, what we are trying to tell parents is that the first 2 years of the child's life, you need to make sure that they don't get access to screen time and rather introduce babies to books. And that has been something that has been running since last year. And we continue to do it this year. We give out free books. We go outside of Accra to deprived communities just to give free books. The idea is that by age 5, I'm hoping that every child would own 100 books.
Wow.
Yes. 100
books.
Yes.
That's an ambitious target.
Yeah.
But I guess it's doable. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Possible, yeah.
Finally, Albert, you are EdTech Support Associate at GSET. What does that role entail? How's your average day like?
Oh, okay. So thank you very much for having me. It's actually GSET.
GSET,
GSET is Ghana Society for Education Technology.
Okay.
Yes, and at GSET, we see ourselves as a think tank for technology integration into education. We do a lot of teacher or educator capacity building, and we work around the clock with various partners just to make sure that technology is integrated effectively into education. So we have a society of educators of over 15,000 teachers who are part of our membership. That we have what we call teacher meetups and ed camps.
Okay.
And we use these meetups to actually build capacity on how to use technology to actually enhance and transform education. My role at GSET is basically to support teachers to use technology. And hence the name EdTech Support Associate.
Yeah. Wonderful. Great, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's I think we've laid the groundwork. We have some context to what you do and all of that. Prof, let me start off with you. What does inclusive education mean? I remember in my intro I read a few words, but what exactly does it mean?
What words did you read? I think it's just like the names are inclusive.
Yes.
So an approach to what we already know as in our educational system, where we are looking at content and delivery of the content in such a way that nobody is left out. So people from various backgrounds, people from various abilities and disabilities, socio-economic statuses varying as much as it is, they are all part of this learning process. And I'm saying it's an approach to the wider reform of our educational system. So that's what it means. Just making sure that nobody is left out.
I see.
So making sure everybody, wherever you are, whoever you are, you have access to quality education, which is very important.
And how is it represented in our own local Ghanaian context?
I think over the years, I tried reading a certain document from, UNICEF and Star Ghana. They came out with a report in 2015 where they were looking at Ghana's educational policy.
Okay.
And Ghana actually has an inclusive educational policy. I think when it comes to policies, Ghana, we are very rich. We are very rich. So that document kind of spells out how everybody should be targeted in making sure that everybody gets education. And it extends out of institutions to the community. So we are looking at having communities where people are supported, communities where people are nurtured to become very useful global citizens. So that's what inclusive education is in Ghana, in our
context.
Policy, yes. And then I think the 1992 Constitution also sees education not just as some kind of right or privilege, but it's actually a human right issue. So meaning that if it's a human right issue, no human being should be denied education regardless of whatever or whoever you are. So our constitution equally spells out the fact that everybody needs to have an education. I think our recruitment processes into these schools, before, I don't know about now, but before, I have listened to a lot of elderly people talk about when they went to school and they came from various backgrounds, especially those who went to Achimota school, because my uncle just spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, where he came from Kayoro in the Upper East region, and he joined people from Accra who were from privileged homes, and they were all in Achimota school. I think it was a way of making sure everybody had access to a certain type of education. So the way we picked students into our various schools was a way of ensuring inclusivity, I believe, so that you couldn't say you can't go to Achimota school because you were poor. Yes. So in that system, if that system is still working, then Ghana has it. We've been on track trying to get everybody involved in getting quality education. That is if it is still functional. I also think in various institutions, for instance, like I use University of Ghana, we have various platforms, provisions in the school where the school deliberately will select certain students from deprived communities to come to the University of Ghana. And I think even the bar for their entrance into the university is lowered because of where they are coming from. Because they've practiced this thing over the years. I remember our former Vice Chancellor, Professor Ernest Aite, at one of the graduation ceremonies, mentioned one overall best student who came from a village school with a very terrible aggregate, who ended up completing the University of Ghana, being the best student at the end of the day, meaning that if you gave everybody the opportunity, people will perform. So there are deliberate attempts in various institutions like this to get such people, give them all the same level ground, and people will perform. And so in Ghana, like I'm giving all these examples to show that it's been going on trying to get everybody included in our institutions.
I see. Yeah. Douglas, you are also quite big on inclusivity. So what are the challenges that educators face in making classrooms more inclusive, so everybody sitting in there can also get that access to education, get the same knowledge, and and transform their lives?
All right, thank you. So if you look at our current education system, there has been a lot of changes here and there from government perspective, from NGOs and other individuals contributing to the change. However, the system as a whole will require a lot of work to be done in order to achieve inclusivity. Now, when you go, typically, the challenges we face has to do with lack of infrastructure, right? We don't have the requisite infrastructure to promote inclusivity in our classrooms because I call them special kids, right? Or children with learning, I don't want to use the word disability.
Learning challenges.
Yes, I want to say challenges, right? Because if you go to a typical classroom where everybody is learning the same content, right? Irrespective of your learning preferences or how you learn, right? If you look at the VAC model that talks about visual learners, read and write, auditory, kinesthetic people, how do we even assess everybody? We assess you by your level of ability to memorize content and be able to reproduce it. But then we have other learners that are visual learners. How do we assess them? We have other learners that are more kinesthetic, who can demonstrate their learning through maybe a project, a physical project that you can see, that, oh, I've read a document, but that's through my comprehension, this is what I can show for my learning. I'm not assessed on that. We are off box to
we all have to write one
thing and all of that. So
things.
Then it becomes difficult to achieve inclusiveness, especially even in our test or assessment process, right? Now you go to places where there are large classrooms. Now if you have large classrooms where students have different learning abilities, right, and you have a teacher taking care of all of these people with different learning styles, then it becomes also another challenges that we face in our education system, because you cannot do differentiated learning, right? Because everybody can learn and succeed, but not at the same time and at the same pace. Therefore, if in the 21st century where we are talking about lifelong learning, self-paced learning, personalized learning, then there is the need for us to think about it. If you really want to promote inclusiveness, then this is another one of the biggest challenge that we are going to face. Now, apart from this infrastructure that we need and the bigger classroom challenge, I think that edtech solutions are there to be able to bridge this gap, right? EdTech solutions can do this by also making sure that whether you are in a remote area where you don't even have access to internet, mobile devices can be loaded with offline content where the student can learn, right? Because of this modern technology and AI and all of that, it's also giving access to people irrespective of whether you have large classrooms. You can still have the opportunity to learn and absorb certain content to your needs based on your level and where you are and all of that. So EdTech is the solution, is the way to go because of the solutions that are coming up. One of the things that I would like to say is that I don't want to keep talking about the problems, but talk about more of the solutions, right? There's this software or this company that developed a software called Evidence B. With this Evidence B, it allows learners with AI powered, allows them to build or improve their numeracy skills. So you take a series of questions, and then based on that, it reroute a curriculum bespoke to your needs.
Okay.
And then the learner is learn from that, and then assessment is done based on that, and then you progress progressively. So these are some of the EdTech tools that are available that we can use from EdTech perspective to support inclusiveness in our education system.
Wonderful, great stuff. Gifty, let me come to you. You've been quiet. I see you've been writing a few things. Can you share some success stories, maybe in Ghana globally, of inclusive curricula that's been properly designed? And maybe you can tell us what factors would impact the design of inclusive curricula in Ghana.
So the West is always the best example. So countries like Finland, the UK, the US, they have really gone far in terms of inclusion or inclusive curriculum.
Okay.
Ghana, we have done well. There's still more to do. More schools are accepting children with disabilities. In the past, it was really difficult to get into schools if to get admission. One of the many other hats that I wear is I'm a mother of a child with autism.
Okay.
Yes, and so I have been through the system trying to get him to get admission into schools. I remember we had gone to one and we were rejected. This is when 2014.
Okay.
And then the second school, I was
10 years ago.
Yes, 10 years ago. I remember I was shopping in Accra and I was called by the school to pick him up because they couldn't work with him. So I had to rush all the way, and go all the way to Adenta to pick him up from school because they said that they can't accept him. They can't accept him, and he was 4 or 5 then, but now many schools are accepting children with disabilities. So we work in schools, we provide speech therapy services in schools, and schools are willing to, schools are willing to work with children with disabilities. And for most part, it's expensive because you need to provide some support for the child. The schools are not, able to, provide additional support for that particular child. Although some schools will charge and get you that support that you need. Sorry about that. So I would say that, yes, now many schools are accepting children with disabilities. What factors? I think that policy, she talked about policy, the legal framework. We already have the Ghana Inclusive Education Policy. Okay. Then the Persons with Disability Act. They are all there, and it's just left with implementation. Yes, yes, implementation is always, it's always the challenge. And so, if we get the system implementing some of these policies, I think that every child would have access to quality, inclusive education. I think teacher training. If teachers are well trained to provide support for these children or these individuals, they will thrive. My brother here, yes, Douglas just spoke about designing the curriculum to suit every learner's learning life style. Learning style. Yes, my son, for instance, is a visual learner. I always tell them, don't waste your time talking. Yes, just let someone else do it, and then he will pick it up. And they are always amazed that it ends up being that yes, he's a strong visual learner. And so when you are giving the instructions plenty like that, he's lost and he's so
he wants to see.
Exactly. So if teachers know some of these things, they would be able to support individuals with different abilities or different needs. So I'll give another example. If you were working with a child with autism who is also hyperlexic, that means that they decode words easily. Usually children who are on the autism spectrum and are also hyperlexic, they learn how to read by themselves, so no one teaches them. So they will see Citi FM, they will see relevant,
and they can quickly make the words
exactly out. And these are like 2-year-olds, and so if teachers don't recognize that this child could be on the spectrum, and for us, if a child is exhibiting excessive strength at a certain age, it could mean that the child could have autism. Not always the case. So if you're seeing a child exhibiting some of these strength and you're not thinking that they have all this strength, but they also have other challenges, which is sometimes communication, social interaction and all that, you might miss out on supporting them. Yes, and they have these children, they have a lot of potential, but if the teachers miss out on supporting them, then and also recognizing their learning style, because if a child is hyperlexic, you want to present information in text because they are drawn to letters, yes. And so if you are giving them other forms of it doesn't work for them.
You probably think that they are not doing well.
Yes,
but
and
that's
continuous professional development. And she talked about research. There always new things are coming up. And so if teachers are well versed in some of these new trends, they are better. Sorry about
that. You can have a sip. Listeners, you're still listening to the October session of EdTech Monday. We are talking curriculum design. Gifty was making a point.
Yes. And then, of course, in this part of the world, we talk about resources availability and funding. That is the huge part of inclusive designing an inclusive curriculum, because getting content into audio format, title formats, it's all costly. And so, institutions must be willing to put some monies into it for it to succeed, so that every child can thrive, and actually every child can succeed. There are different and also access to assistive technology, which he talked about. We've met students who are mobility impaired, and the only means, and then they are also communication impaired. The only means of communication is through their eye gaze. If you don't give that person an eye gaze technology to use to communicate, you might think that they have nothing to say. Actually, we piloted an app called the Relate app, Project Relate app. It's a free app, and we met a student from University of Ghana who said that she loved to write poetry, but because of she had a difficulty with writing, she stopped, writing poetry. But when we introduced her to that app, which uses AI to train an individual's pattern of speech, and you don't necessarily have to have clear speech. Actually, it understands any form of speech, which we call the satric or the stammering type of speech, or you can also call it in quotes unclear speech. And it has a transcription button that you can use. And she used it, and for the first time, she felt liberated that, now she can go back to writing her poetry. We met a lawyer who said that she quit the court because judges couldn't understand her. And when we introduced her to the app, and she was like, you know what, this is like having a new toy, and she was going to consider going back to the court, So AT's assistive technology, yes, is definitely one, and then cultural attitudes. Sometimes schools want to include learners with disability or learners who learn differently, but the society. I've been to schools where the heads will tell us that we try to include these students that you're advocating for, but the parents they begin to withdraw their awards because I don't know if they think that's infectious, you know.
Yes.
And so
there's
we
a lot
need
of
to create
re-socialization.
Exactly.
we
Yes,
must
to do. Yes, we need to. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Gifty, for that. Albert, let me bring you in. You've been doing a lot of the listening and nodding and agreeing. Let's talk about the Ghanaian school and how the Ghanaian school's curriculum can be credibly structured to include students of different abilities and backgrounds.
Okay, thank you very much. If you look at 2020's GEM report, Global Education Monitoring Report by UNESCO, you get to realize that we have, when it comes to inclusion, it's actually categorized into three.
Mhm.
We have the physical inclusion, which will have to do with people who have, let's say, physical, in quote, disabilities. We have the social inclusion, like Prof said, the society must first accept to include
yes.
the person. Then we also have the academic inclusion. Now, it's evident that in Ghana, we are doing well with the physical inclusion and the social inclusion. We are at least doing well. But when it comes to the academic inclusion, that is where the challenge is. So to design a curriculum that will be very inclusive, we first need to actually engage stakeholders. So if we are talking about stakeholders, we are talking about teachers as the key implementers of the curriculum. And like Prof said earlier, the Ghanaian curriculum is already inclusive. We have the policies. The Ghanaian curriculum is a social constructivist curriculum that positions the teacher as a facilitator to support the child to construct their own knowledge. But the point is this facilitator having the right capacity to support children who have different levels, special children?
So that underlines the training point.
Exactly.
Building professional capacity.
Exactly. So I think currently in Ghana, the key will be to build teacher capacity. How do we equip the teacher with the right teaching strategies or the right pedagogies that they need? If we are talking about differentiated learning, what are you supposed to do in the classroom to make sure that you are not using a one-size-fits-all approach? So there is this concept called scaffolding, where I think it's somewhere in some teachers use it, where you are setting, let's say, a test, but you give an example of the test and actually show how the test, it should be answered. So a child who would take time to actually understand the whole thing looks at that sample question and answer and use it to finish up the work. Another child who already knows the thing can just move on and answer the question. So it's a question with, are we training our teachers well enough, or are we building capacity with our teachers well enough to be able to support inclusion, academic inclusion in the classroom?
I see. Wonderful. Great point there. So building teacher capacity is important. Prof, let me come back to you. You are the teacher here. So as educators, really, how can educators ensure that all the things that go into a curriculum, the content and everything, will reflect all these diverse things we are talking about: background, ability, capacity, and all of that? How can educators ensure that curriculum content will cover all these grounds so everybody in the classroom is catered for?
Yeah, I do agree with Dunu. Yeah, Mr. Dunu. Yes, that capacity is key. I think if educators themselves understand the whole essence of this inclusive education, the thing is whether people, as we are all talking about now, is there every educator out there who even knows about this concept of inclusive education? I think some of us in the educational system have just been practicing things without necessarily being conscious of the fact that what we are doing is to ensure inclusivity, right? So awareness and having that mindset that we are educators to everybody and not just a certain group of people, I think is key. And then secondly, after we've appreciated the idea of inclusive education, we need to build capacity. We need to know what do we do to that child who is not able to sit down for 30 minutes continuously. what do you do with that child? Do you just shout and say they are being stubborn? Or what do you do with that child who, whilst you are talking, they are busy writing and they are not even focused? And what do you do? So the ability to diagnose correctly and know what interventions to put in place will be key in your design. And when you are designing your curriculum, I think at the university level, it's easier because then you are dealing with at least people who are a bit more mature. So currently when COVID came, in most universities, at least I can speak for my university, the University of Ghana, the teaching styles and the mode of delivery of content has changed to the extent that if you are not the type who can sit down and listen to a lecture for 2 hours, these days we do recordings. We do self-paced kind of learnings for those who want to take their time. I am one of those people. I think if Gifty, I was a child and went to Gifty, she would have probably given me a diagnosis. Because I can't just sit down continuously and read for 2 hours. I can't. So I'm the type who will be reading. I was a science student at the University of Ghana. I did biological science, but I would be doing my chemistry, physics and everything, and I still want to watch TV, and I can do all kinds of things within the same space. I can't focus on one thing at one time, but I will do all excellently if you allow me. So I think educators need to appreciate these, that we learn differently. Some of us learn in very quiet places. Some of us will sleep. You go to the reading rooms and some people, because the place is so quiet, they'll sleep. Some people need some stimulation going on. So that's why people will be listening to music while they are. Let's, as educators, appreciate that people learn differently, so that we, in our curriculum development, in our course content, and in the mode of deliveries, like I said, we record some of these things. Some people can just listen to the lectures. Some people can just watch videos. These days, I use videos and stuff even in my lectures. So people will watch a story and appreciate the text that they should have written notes for like 1,000 times. So they just watch a video and they get it. So we use all these varying sensory, what do they call? They call them sensory. There's a sensory term that they give to. So we deal with all your sensories, and then you can definitely identify the part that works for you. That, when done in our curriculum development, will help students with varying backgrounds to study. I think when we also use examples and people can relate to these examples. So if you are giving example, you are teaching a topic. Let's say I teach governance, I teach leadership, and all my examples are maybe Margaret Thatcher, I'm talking about Colin Powell, I'm talking about Obama. Some people will not but if I say Indeura Japa, if I say Yasantua, you see that people relax and they feel at home and they can relate. So culturally sensitive content will also help some people to adjust. It's just like when you go to church and they are singing all these foreign songs, and some people will just be standing there like, let them drop one local song, you see the spirit has come. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If people can relate with some of the cases we use in our teachings, the examples we give, there are people in their communities that they can relate with. Your leadership class will be very exciting and people will understand your topic better. So the cases, the materials we use, there are various articles that have been published, and some of these articles will give varying arguments. So if you are an educator and you give references like that, where people can have whatever their mindset is, they can find their own in that article. Then they will not feel like, oh, I'm weird. Why am I thinking this way? Oh, after all, the way I'm thinking, somebody too is arguing it up in this. So the materials, the references that we give must also be such that it covers every form of diversity that we have, so that people can appreciate that better as well.
Wonderful.
I think I'll end here. Let others continue. If it becomes necessary, I'll probably add some.
That's great. Albert, we've said a lot about the curriculum, building it and all of that. But how do we ensure that it's working? How do we ensure that we've built a curriculum that is inclusive, that encompasses all these things we are talking about? How do we measure the effectiveness of this inclusive curriculum we are talking about? After, let's say, we've built it and we've designed it, now how do we test its effectiveness?
Okay, so the end product of every curriculum, I think I didn't say this at the beginning, I'm a licensed teacher.
I see.
Right.
So we have two teachers here.
So I work in the classroom very well. So the end product of every curriculum is the learning outcomes.
Okay.
Is a change in behavior.
Okay.
What should students be able to do after they go through a particular curriculum? So I think the issue of inclusion is that if we have 10 students, regardless of their level or their abilities, if they are all supposed to carry this bottle of water, they should all be able to carry it some way or the other.
Okay.
It doesn't matter the time it took one person to carry it. Yes. So I think what should be done, it was stressed earlier, is building capacity.
Okay.
We have to actually start equipping our educators. And I know this is being done already, but is it stressed when it comes to the classroom? Is it stressed that as a teacher, you should be able to adopt various strategies that caters for everyone? Prof said it earlier that some of us teachers even do it and we don't realize what we are doing is inclusion, or we don't realize what we are doing is discrimination. You could play both parts and you don't even know what you are doing. So first, capacity building, and second, we should also look at the issue of technology integration. I was just learning from my boss the last time. I have always thought technology integration was like the answer, but it looks like it is just a means to an end. Technology itself could widen the gap, the inclusion
Yeah,
gap.
that's true.
It could actually widen it. So I think what we should do now is to actually invest in infrastructure and make sure that if we want to do inclusion and want to bring in technology, everybody gets equal access. Not that we are giving tablets to students and the student in the village somewhere has the tablet but won't have access to the internet to even do anything about it.
Or even the electricity to power the tablet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important, one, capacity building, and two, we should invest in structures and infrastructure that can help us use technology for inclusion.
Wonderful. You're still listening to the October edition of EdTech Monday. Today we are discussing curriculum design for inclusive education and how to foster equality and diversity. My guests are still here. Albert Dunu of the Ghana Society of Education Technology. I got it right. Gifty Ayoka is here, founder of Talking Tips Africa Foundation. We've got Douglas Aite, founder and CEO of the Maker's Place, and Professor Patience Abo of the University of Ghana Business School. Douglas, let me bring you back. So you share this question with Gifty. What skills should we prioritize, right, in an inclusive curriculum to ensure that all the students are prepared for the future world of work? Because why are we educating them? To give them skills so they can work and live great lives. So really, what skills should we prioritize as we put together this inclusive curriculum to ensure that the students are ready for the world of work? So you can answer a part and then Gifty will also answer a part.
All right, thank you. When it comes to skills, when you say digital skills or teacher readiness,
okay,
right? Teacher readiness is key by making sure that the teacher understands the technology, have access to different tools that can enhance or improve learning outcomes, right? So if the teacher is not well positioned with technology, right? If the teacher is not able to use assistive devices, if the teacher cannot go the minima, which can be use PowerPoint presentation, right, to be more inclusive of different learning style of or learning preferences, right, where you are introducing video content, you are introducing audio content, where you are introducing books and all of that in the classroom, right? Even sitting arrangement and the type of chairs that you need to put in the classrooms are another dimensions that we need to look at, right? Because if the teacher capacity, as we are reinforcing that, is that if the teacher has built their capacity in their ability to use technology, right, especially exposed to different tools like Padlets for quizzes, like Kahoot and all those kind of things, right? There are so many platforms that are available now than before that teachers can use, but then they need to be exposed. I've started a series that exposing teachers to these tools. But first, what I do is that I let them know who they are first. What is your generation? Because your generation characteristics also informs you, right, whether to discriminate or not to discriminate about the learner and what is the learner generation characteristics. I'm a millennial. I'm teaching a Gen Z, or I'm teaching Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha, what are their characteristics? Now, their characteristics is that they are hyper, right? They are hyper connected. So those children, they don't need to be taught how to use devices because whilst they were in the womb, they were learning them, right? So screen time is higher for children like that. Now, Gen Zs have shorter attention span, right? They cannot concentrate on one thing because whilst they are on Facebook, they are watching video, they are testing somebody, they are doing this. So the same trait is being adopted by their children. And this child goes to a classroom where the teacher says sit down, and then the child will stand up. They say stop, then they start. Then the teacher says you are stubborn, but this child has is hyper, right? They want to touch. The teacher needs to understand that this child has a special characteristics, right? From my generation, because education is about transferring knowledge, culture, values from one generation to another. That is education. Therefore, if I was in a classroom that is well structured, where teacher will say sit and you sit and all of that, right? Now I have another student who cannot comply with all these norms, you need to negotiate with them on principles, on what you need to do. Even at home, you tell them to do something, you need to negotiate and says that do this before you watch the TV, do this before you do that. So teacher capacity is the skills that needs to be reinforced by making sure that EdTech tools are exposed to them so that they can do differentiated learning. Localization of content, right? You can take the curriculum can be designed and been given to you, right? Sometimes some of the examples are not examples that you can relate in the classroom because they are more alien to your existing classroom. You may not have TV there, you may not have this, but examples are talking about TV. How do you localize the content, right, to make sure that it makes more meaning to the learners that you are facing with? So the skills is making sure that teachers are exposed to digital tools or digital EdTech tools as many as we can in order to make sure that the teacher is ready and well prepared to be able to understand their learners and also be able to support them in all these areas. Because now it's about, we are not saying teachers anymore. People are saying educators. People are saying talking about facilitators, right? Because the 21st century educator is well versed in curriculum. So you are not just the recipient of the curriculum and then delivering, but rather you should be able to understand the curriculum. You should be able to personalize the curriculum. You should be able to modify where needed because it is not one fit all based on the learner's perspective and or the kind of student you have in your class.
Great. Gifty, do you want to?
Yes. I think I totally agree with him. For the population that I work with, they mostly don't have access to the device itself before you can dwell on or come to maybe the skills. And so there are times when we've given devices out to persons with disabilities whilst we're doing research. And we realize that for some of them, this is the first time that they are having access to a mobile phone. And so there's this tech shock, or that's how I term it, tech shock. Like they are holding the phone for the first time. So they are now trying to play around with it to figure it out. So I would say that I think we need to make sure that these marginalized groups have access to devices. And it's about time that we saw mobile phones and tablets as learning tools and not as luxury devices anymore.
Okay.
Because someone's mobile phone also, on their phone, they have apps that they can use. If you are blind, you can download an app that can help you to scan your environment. There's apps. There are apps like Look to Speak. If you can't communicate with by speech, you can use your eye gaze. These are free apps that people can use on their phones, but how can they get access to their phones? That is the challenge. And so I think government we all need to advocate for persons with disability because, if you are poor, you're already marginalized. Then you have a disability, you are double marginalization. Then maybe you are female. That is triple marginalized. So we need to look at all these factors and make sure that marginalized groups, I don't know how we will do it, whether there should be a way where they can access these devices and pay within at a discount, or but once we recognize that now a mobile phone is someone's assistive technology, assistive device. It's
no longer for calls and
exactly
messages.
So we can even waive taxes on certain categories of phones, so that people can have access to it, especially persons with disabilities or the marginalized groups that we talk about. So that would be one. And of course, he's already mentioned the digital literacy, and for a person with disability, that would be being literate in terms of assistive digital ATs. How do they use it to empower themselves? There are lots of apps, but each time we've met the people that really need them, they don't even know about it. Yes, I remember when we were piloting another of the apps, Look to Speak. We met people, families that needed it, but they had never heard that it was free, and all they needed was a device. And one of the participants that we worked with, she said that she's never been able to communicate what she really wanted to say. And so we asked her what she wants to say now that she has the opportunity. So what happens is you use your eye, and then whilst you blink, it chooses what you want to say after you've inputted whatever. So she said she wanted to say daddy.
Wow.
Yes, for her, that is the first thing she wants to say. And we did it, and then she used her eyes and she blinked. Then the app said daddy. And that was liberating for her. So I think that access to devices and making sure that persons with disability acquire AT skills, because these are skills that they would use throughout their lives. And for those that are born with disabilities, I think the earlier we introduce them to ATs, the better, so that they are AT proficient. They don't grow up and we are now trying to get them phones. It's much more difficult to do that when they are older. Yes, so early intervention or early access to ATs would also help in the
Wonderful.
Equipping them for the future.
Do you want to add anything?
Yes, I really think that when it comes to the Ghanaian system, whenever we formulate policies, we don't have any single policy standing on its own. That is
you always need like a mix,
yes. So there is always peripheral policies attached to the main policy. For instance, if you take the curriculum reform that happened, I think in 2017, it should have come with capacity building policies attached to it. And I'm sure there is something like that. But we normally implement the main thing, leaving the peripheral policies like reviews, trainings coming to teachers and all that. So I think it's very important that individuals, NGOs and institutions will do their best, but our agencies should also try and provide some sort of, like I said earlier, infrastructure, policy, implementation, not just the document, but implementing the policy so that teachers get the right capacity for inclusive education.
Wonderful. We are almost at the end, so any final comments? This is, open floor. Any final comments from any of our guests?
I think I would want to take that. I just want to say that I think we've said a lot about making sure that everybody, regardless of who you are and how you look, you have access to quality education. I just want to also say that this whole idea of inclusive education is excellent education. If we say we are all working towards providing excellent education, then excellent education means inclusive education. Okay. You can't say you have properly educated your population when a certain sect of the population have no idea what is even happening. So excellent education means inclusive education. That's the first thing I want to talk about. I also want to say that from our local sayings, we said that it takes a whole village to raise a child, right? Yeah. I think inclusive education here reiterates that saying, that it takes everybody, all stakeholders. Growing up, we grew up in societies where a teacher could walk into your house and pick a child and cane you, go to school, because the teacher and your parents are all collaborating to make sure that you get an education. So I think we should go back to those same systems where the community will work with the educators and the government and all NGOs and the private sector. Everybody should do their part to make sure that we are producing human beings who are culturally sensitive, they are aware of what is happening in their societies, and they have what it takes to solve societal problems. So NGOs and private sector should make internship spaces available. When students come for internship, that's not the time to be sending them to buy you granuts and Kofi Brookman. Let them learn what they are there to learn. The Kofi Brookman can come later on for breaks, but let people have space in your organizations. We are all part of the inclusive education. Yeah. So private sector should give internship programs. They should sponsor some of the students who are poor. Scholarships should not only be from the government. Private sector can also give scholarships. Provide devices and these technologies that everybody is talking about. You can just sponsor these into some schools for some of these children to also have access to it. So as a community, everybody, all the stakeholders, let's all contribute to producing very educated human beings regardless of their backgrounds. Thank you.
And on that note, we draw the curtain on the October session of EdTech Monday. Let me say thank you to my guest, Albert Dunu, EdTech Support Associate at GSET, Gifty Ayoka, founder, Talking Tips Africa Foundation, Douglas Aite, founder and CEO of the Maker's Place, and Professor Patience Abo, Associate Professor, Health Policy and Management at the Department of Health Services Management at the University of Ghana Business School. Thank you so much. It was fun, it was enlightening, and I hope you took away something, our listeners. My name is Nathan Kwai, moderated the session. We'll be back in November for the final one of the year. Thank you so much for listening. That's how we wrap it up on today's session. That's how we wrap it up for today on the Citi Breakfast Show. The entire team was here. Many thanks for listening. Coming up next is the news at 10. Our Idrisu Mustafa is here. We'll get to the news in a second. Thank you out there, our listeners. Some very interesting comments came through. We appreciate all of them. Okay, it's about 2 after 10. Let's get into the news.
In the news, one person